news. New York City Democratic mayoral candidate and Muslim Zohran Mamdani has gone over 24 hours since last condemning Hamas, therefore implicating him as a terrorist against Jews. In other news, studies show ethno-states are in and human rights are out. In the interest of providing a fair and balanced debate on this subject, Republican Congressman Fred Dingleberry will be joining us tonight facing off against a homeless man's dog we stole from outside the studio. This has been Modern Journalism.
Turn that shit off. You know I hate the tools over at the Legacy Media. So, you join DSA or what? This country needs it, honestly. The Democrats can't keep polishing the same turd every election. We need socialist solutions to all the fucked up shit going right now. Don't take me for a dumbass, though. I'm not talking third party. It sucks, but we gotta change the Dems into something less shit.
I had hoped that the white moderate would understand that law and order exists for the purpose of establishing justice, and that when they fail in this purpose, they become the dangerously structured dams that block the flow of social progress.
Welcome to America's best radio show, Patriot FM. The only show on air that gives you the truth. And none of that woke gay empathy you all despise, because subtlety is for cowards.
OMG, I am so homosexual.
You're listening to the most degenerate music by Jays, Doug, whatever. Bet this idiot can't even define what a woman is. I should call her.
swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the songs for Riverboat Jack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. And that's what it's about. It's all about passion. Swishy streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Hello, Shadow Angel 09. Hello, Uncle Gumbald. Hello, Mr. Malachite. Hello, Story the Bard. Hello, Asuka. Hello, how we doing, Matatiahu? Hello, Sweet Blasphemy. Hello, Punky Gal. Hello, how we doing? Hello, Existent. Hello, Queenie. Hello, Banana Brains. Hello, Sage. Hello, One-Armed Bandit. Hello, the mythical Dr. Pepper. Hello, 2D Synctium. Hello, Ruthie. Hello, Plant. Hello. Why do we have vertical chat now? Because it reaches more people. Straight up. It's because when you publish another stream in the vertical, it goes into a separate algorithm designed for the YouTube Shorts. So that's why we've been experimenting with it, and that does remind me I intended to rename that so it could be clear. Vertical. There we go. Tomorrow it's your birthday. Happy pre-birthday. Hello, Jazz Dog, the jazziest dog we know. I will be streaming tomorrow, just as an FYI. Hello, Matthew Matthew WH. Matthew H. 2929. Hello, the Jervan. Hello, Sweet and Sour Serena. Hello, Nuka Nocturne, and thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Hello, Jaxie Guillotine. Hello, Lordly Canthrope 85. Hello, Liz Galahad, and you are correct, I am a socialist, though much like Michaela 80, or Michaela rather 86, I do yearn to go farther than that, but I am a step-by-step kind of gal. Hello, Crypt Keeper Dan. Hello, Spherical Man 00. Hello, Amethyst Maïs. That probably isn't how you say the second part of that, but you know what? I did my best. Hello, Mystic 2001. Hello, Quiet Kitsune. Hello, Webmage 101. Hello, Kiva Indafer. Hello, Quigley. Hello, Mitchell Dunn. Hello, Max Danger. Hello. I'll probably be playing a lot of Mina the Hollower tomorrow. Hello. Blueberry Bumblebees. Hello, Southpaw Travis. Hello, Latzia. Hello, Murph. Hello, Screech. Hello, everybody. Hello, Snoogan. Hello, Hammock. Hello, everybody. The kids can't be arsed to rotate their phone. You know, oddly enough, from what I can understand, it's not the youth. My understanding is that the people who use YouTube Shorts more are like the olds. Wish me luck. I've never done my makeup before and tend to crash out when I can't make myself pretty. Yo, just have fun with it. Turn it into like a fun activity where like you're just playing around. Makes it it helped when I like disengaged with like oh no, I can't take it off. You know? Cuz you probably have like makeup wipes and stuff if like there's a little goof 'em up. And like it's okay. It's a happy little cloud, happy little tree. You got to have the you got to adopt the Bob Ross mentality, you know? Heel to the yeah. All right, today, folks, we are going to be doing some Sam Cedar, Jillian Michaels content. I know you all fine folks that you have been waiting very patiently for the next the second part. We'll do that live, and also we will maybe do another Dave Rubin, and then we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at. Yeah, to be honest, I looked at potentially putting together a more nuanced show on different topics and encountered a UFC fighter making an AI video of him beating up a trans woman, and I said that's enough. That's enough news for me for today. So we're gonna be taking it a little bit easy. That vid was horrifying. Yeah, it's not great. But before we get into the show, we're gonna take a look at some things that I think are just neat and cool, and I want to share with you guys. So, first off, I just thought this was neat. I thought this was neat. And when we hit 500 subs, we'll cover another Hyperborean knowledge video. I think you guys are gonna want that one.
Now in development at Studio MDHR. It's Mighty Cuphead Adventure.
Hell yeah!
A new fast-action platform shooter with arcade-quality graphics and amazing sound. Mighty Cuphead Adventure.
Only from Studio MDHR.
This just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. I like that creative people keep getting to do cool shit. You know? Also, Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs.
Sabin Figueroa is the only UFC fighter who could beat up a trans woman.
And even then, God, that game was good. That I should play that game on stream sometime. I should play that game. I should call her. Jack is a video game journalist, so unfortunately it's physically impossible for her to play that game. Hey, I did beat Cuphead, though. I did do that. I'm kind of okay at video games. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs, and thank you for being the first person today to support the stream financially. Trains, though, best watch out. Don't worry, Sabin's got experience. All right, and the other thing, it's a two-parter. Okay, part 1. This is actually a fan-made project that I first learned about a year ago, and I just kind of forgot about. But I'm gonna play the first trailer, and then I'm gonna play you the second one, okay?
Technically, Jack beat D Cuphead.
I I have been known to beat. No, I can't say that. I can't say that as a streamer. Can't do it. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. I am in I feel like I've got a potty mouth tonight. I'm gonna try and control myself. All right, here you go. Hello, you can call me Jess. So 2 years ago, they had this trailer, which was for the Act 1 release, right? So they released Act 1 of Mother Encore, right? Well, just a couple days ago, they released the launch trailer of Act 2. And I'm really excited about this. Isn't this just delightful? I just think video games are cool, and I love when people put the time in. You know, I have a full playthrough of Undertale Yellow on my YouTube channel somewhere, and that was some of the best video gaming I've done in a long time. You know, y'all need to get on Undertale Yellow if you haven't played it yet. Jack with one lock of hair in front of her face equals neuron activation. Good. I was going for I was going for that. All right. Also, now I'm not entirely sure what this is, but my understanding is there's a game coming out called World of Antera, which is basically 2D
Finally,
Skyrim.
a remake worth my salt. Celebratory hands in the air emoji.
2D Synctium, thank you very much for the $50 worth of salt. I really appreciate it. Thank you so goddamn much. And actually, I think I didn't count the 5 subs from Saki Tanuki earlier. The second 5 subs. So, we're actually at... There we go. What's your favorite trailer from Summer Games Fest today? I didn't watch it! I'm just showing you things that I found that I thought were cool. It's been a minute since a video game narrative wowed me, but Claire Obscure was right on the money. Oh, fuck, Claire Obscure was good. I know people got their gripes with it, but it hit me. It hit me right. All right. This game just looks cool. I don't know how else to say it.
Finally, a run worth my summoning salt.
Sake Tanuki, thanks for 5 subs. I'll check it out after this. Just like me for real. Yeah, so it has like turn-based combat on top of this. More real-time elements. It's very interesting. Thievery! Disgusting moral degeneracy, that. just looks like a gigantic open world, like, sandbox situation, and I think that's really neat. I think that's really neat and cool. Although I'm not going to be checking it out until whenever it gets out of early access. I'm sold, take all my monies. I hope it doesn't cost all your monies.
Can I recommend checking out the trailer for this Bookworm Adventures dystopian roguelike made with trans people on the team, with transness at its core?
Absolutely, Cardstockcaster, but we're going to look at Sake Tanuki's link first.
Pride 2022, Pride 2026, Pride 2022, Pride 2026, Pride 2021, Pride 2026, Pride 2020, Pride 2026. Hello? Deloitte, where are you? Even the once famed Target Pride display has been reduced to a few felt birds and a Britney Spears vinyl. Some people will say that corporations don't care about gays anymore. But did they ever? In Pride of 2015, right after gay marriage was legalized in the US, Chipotle released a graphic featuring a rainbow burrito that said Homo Estas.
Okay, but hear me out. That kind of slaps.
And they really committed to this. Was the rainbow burrito a product of executives at Chipotle deeply caring about the rights of gay people?
Clearly, the gays love burritos. I shit you guys not, I ordered 2 burritos today. Oh no, I feel so called out.
I mean, maybe they cared a little bit, but as a business...
Well, of course not. Businesses don't give a shit. They're apolitical. They just care about maximizing profit.
They were crunching numbers. National support for gay marriage was climbing fast in the years leading up to 2015. Even amongst Republicans, it had gone up 7% since the previous summer. So Homo Estas was the product of a marketing team identifying trends and following them. Chipotle wasn't ahead of the curve, they were just on the curve. National support for gay marriage peaked in 2022 and has been declining since then thanks to fear-mongering from conservatives. So theoretically, we should be hearing from Marsha P. Chipotle right now, but instead of Homo Estas, we're getting Homo Goodbye. Because they never cared about us. It was always about following trends and crunching numbers. And right now, those numbers show that we are not worth pandering to. And
well, and the other thing is, like, of course, like, all of the Pride support was hollow. It was done to make money. This is the thing that I think a lot of people, it frustrates me because we have this discourse like every year. Right? We have like this discourse every year where people are like, oh, but the corporate support of LGBTQ people, it's insincere. And it's just like, of course it's insincere. They're corporations. Corporations don't do things because they just like have strong moral values. Corporations are not known for that. They are known exclusively for rat fucking anyone and everyone that they can. And so it bothers me that the discourse happens every year.
The problem was never the rainbow, it was always capitalism.
It's true. And the solution is somewhere over the rainbow. The bluebirds can fly there. We can fly there. We will fly together over the rainbow, way up high. And we will reach that dreamlike land, full of milk and honey, where they pave the roads in gold. And it will be a socialist land. All right, I'm done.
While it's nice to remember a time when queers were seen by boardroom executives as trendy enough to be profitable, I can appreciate the honesty of this moment. It reminds us as clearly as ever that the bricks we need to be throwing were never going to be sold at Target, and that the only people who have ever really had us...
Well, okay, but if you're going to Target to buy bricks, you can't do that. Go someplace sensible, like a Home Depot. You know, like, God. So, my fellow gays, you could go and get Lowe's bricks, for even cheaper than Home Depot. Target bricks, bougie ass bricks. All right. Let's take a look at Cardstock Caster's link, and then we'll get to Sake Tanuki. Oh shit! Found to be in possession of illegal pronouns.
Fucking pronouns!
This looks really creative mechanically. Pronoun Palace.
Fucking pronouns!
Hell yeah. That does look really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Cardstock Caster. And Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Let's take a quick gander over here. I believe we are at... There we go.
We bring in the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists.
Hell
Mr.
yeah.
Should I call him Mr.?
It is that time of year, folks.
Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. We bring in the studio this morning.
You are gay. Who says I'm gay? You are gay. Sake with the classics, indeed. Why are you gay? Guys, I'm feeling good. Let's jump into our same Seder debate, huh? Let's do this thing. Also, I don't think we'll cover it on stream, but Mehdi Hassan blowing the fuck out of Patrick Bet David for 2 hours straight is genuinely a delight. It's genuinely a delight. I watched it earlier today, and like, worth your time. Worth your time. Okay. Let's take a look. I think this is roughly where we left off. Mehdi needs higher standards for men to blow. It's true. We have to watch that. I've been waiting. I mean, I'd be open to the idea of swapping out our 500 sub goal from Hyperborean knowledge to Mehdi Hassan. I'd watch that again. Jack, your new haircut is so good. Thank you. Passed out at the homie's house. Now all my homies saying I'm grippy. Any advice? I guess file a police report. Also, don't go to that house again. Bad idea. Your hair today is incredible. Thank you. Doing my best. What is grippy? They're implying that their homies had anal sex with them. All right. Here we go. So, folks, we're diving in to part 2 of Jillian Michaels' attempt to ambush Sam Seder in a supposedly good faith debate. And honestly, I'm excited to see the epic conclusion of this saga, because Jillian Michaels cannot, for the life of her, formulate her own argument. The only thing she can do is get AI summaries from like Google Gemini or ChatGPT, and it's really pathetic, especially when she's talking to somebody who actually knows what he's talking about. Right? It's ChatGPT versus Sam Seder. It's Sam versus the machine. Here we go.
How about the FDA has not issued a single new food regulation. The FDA has not banned a single chemical in any food.
That's not true. They banned one, and they're reevaluating the grass rule. That's not true. So now, so the way the grass rule works,
they have asked the industry to remove certain dyes. And stuff,
they have 3 years, I believe, to do that.
But asking executives to do it is not the same as actually regulating it out of use. Who are we talking about? We're about to joke. They're talking about RFK Jr., the FDA, Make America Healthy Again, all that good stuff.
And that is not enough. There are thousands of chemicals.
It's not a ban. It's an ask. But okay.
I don't believe so. Red number, I think it's 40. It has to be removed
really
within several years.
Concede at this point.
Concede-er? I barely know her. Hey! There you go. Jazz Dog, thank you for the $5 dono.
I'm in favor of it, but I think that when you see what's going on with Monsanto, when you see what's going up with Roundup, when you see all these different things.
I love how she's like, no, Sam, they've made America healthy again by banning one color of food dye. And Sam's like, okay, but what about how they allowed Monsanto to continue giving like cancer poison to people? And she's just like, oh, why do you have to introduce something so inconvenient to my argument?
I'm very skeptical, but I get
as you should be.
Changed
you should be, but it does not mean. I'll give you 2 other examples. Okay, so the GRASS rule, which is the generally recognized as safe rule, is a food loophole that allows big food to just vouch for the safety of the chemicals on their product. So Kennedy is closing that.
God, every single screenshot she shows that is just AI generated is so painful to me. It's so painful. Like, girl, they even have links here. Just screenshot
Why
the links.
Why does Sam's hair unironically look more lesbian coded than Jillian's?
That was a roast of a very specific type of lesbian.
Door. He's closing the glass loophole. That to me is a good thing. I'll take it. I haven't gotten anything like it out of any administration I've ever worked with. I'll give you another one. Pharmacy benefit managers. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this at all, and it's confusing. So I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just trying to explain, and I'm just trying to explain it to the audience.
I know very much about PBMs.
Okay. So now they're forcing the...
Oh, hey, look. She managed to screenshot something that wasn't an AI summary.
Clawback to go back to the patient instead of the insurance company. That's a good thing. Dr. Oz is going after the pre-authorizations, which people end up dying waiting for things to be authorized through their insurance. Like, these are things, I haven't seen anything like it. And
a lot of the work on the PBMs was started under the Biden administration. The negotiating with Medicare that the Trump administration is one of the few things that
no
they've
work with
embraced.
PBMs. Show me the work that the Biden administration did on PBMs.
Oh, I'll show you.
Show me. That's actually completely news to me. I haven't.
I swear to God, if Sam is about to hold up a piece of fucking paper that he printed out because he predicted the entire flow of this conversation, I'm gonna lose it.
Seen any laws they passed blocking that kind of vertical integration? If they did, amazing.
The FTC released 2 major interim reports investigating PBM.
That's an investigation. What did they change?
Listen, this is the way that the government.
And investigations, what did they change? You need to investigate it before you can before you can verify that you can or should do anything about it. You know like the basic adage that they had in I don't know how many people remember the movie The Sword and the Stone, an animated Disney classic. There's a part of the movie where they all transform into squirrels, and a portion of that is dedicated to learning that one should look before they leap. And in a similar way, the government has to look before it leaps, and the way it looks is by doing an investigation.
Works. This is what government does. I'm not done.
Okay. All right. What
they filed an administrative complaint against 3 of the largest PBMs.
Why doesn't Jillian ask AI? The funny thing is, she did, and she threw it up on screen, literally right here. She looked it up, screenshotted it, and Sam still is like, yeah, no, of course, Biden started this process.
Okay. All right. What
they filed an administrative complaint against 3 of the largest PBMs: CBS, Express, and Optum. Medicare Part D rules implemented new rules in 2024 to regulate how PBMs operate within Medicare Part D. The ACA
and what
discrimination
changed, though? Nothing. They didn't take away.
I always understood that section of The Sword and the Stone as some people are into girl squirrels.
Okay, but we do have to understand that The Sword and the Stone is proto-furry propaganda. I hope we all understand this, right? It's very obvious. It's the predecessor to things like Robin Hood, or of course the animated one with the sexy fox man, or Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. All right, we learn a lot about ourselves when we watch those films. Some people learn something incredibly new and exciting about themselves, and others just kind of go, huh, I didn't know I could feel feelings like that about a squirrel. And other people just go, can we watch something else, please?
Well, okay.
But I just feel uncomfortable.
The Inflation Reduction Act and the whole negotiating directly from Medicare to negotiate drug prices sidestep PBMs. I mean, you say what changed? I just told you they were the first ones to act upon this.
But nothing came out of it.
The government right now is operating on in terms of their knowledge of PBMs came from the Biden administration.
It actually didn't come from the Biden administration.
So let's take a moment to evaluate the policy differences between the Biden and Trump administrations regarding pharmacy benefits.
I fucking love that she had to go in and insert this post like after the fact, because she couldn't for the life of her think on her feet and figure this out on her own. And also her own correction is basically just validating what Sam said.
Benefit managers. The Inflation Reduction Act gave the federal government the right to negotiate lower prices on select drugs, but it never touched the PBMs themselves. They still controlled the formularies, which is the list of drugs that your insurance actually covers. So when a drug's price got forced down and the PBMs lost their rebates on it,
God, please, for the love of God, stop citing AI garbage.
Retaliated by just burying those cheaper drugs in higher cost tiers. And then they added prior
Does Drag Bugs Bunny predate Sword in the Stone? Ooh, probably, because I think Sword in the Stone is like 1960s. So yeah, almost certainly. Like Bugs Bunny is like a product of like the 30s, 40s.
Authorization hurdles. And when junk fees got banned at the pharmacy counter, they just raised monthly premiums to recoup the loss. And the result was a marginal change at best. So when the first round of negotiated prices finally took effect in 26, they covered only 10 drugs and saved roughly.
Yeah. And it should be massively expanded to all drugs.
3 cents on every dollar. And by law, not 1 cent of savings actually reached anyone on a commercial insurance plan. The Trump administration looked at that track record and they went after the mechanism itself. And this is what I mean when I say I sat in the rooms where it was discussed. The Consolidated Appropriations Act, signed February 2026 under the Trump administration, does 3 things the Inflation Reduction Act never attempted. It legally delinks PBM compensation from drug prices and rebates, forcing flat fees, destroying their core incentive to favor expensive drugs over cheaper generics. It mandates 100% of manufacturer rebates passed directly to health plans and consumers, eliminating the hidden spread pricing that's been skimming billions out of the system for decades, and it extends those protections into the commercial market, covering the employer-sponsored plans that Biden's model, by law, explicitly left behind. And on top of that, TrumpRx.gov, launched in February 2026 as a federal price transparency portal, gave patients direct access to comparable cash prices across major platforms and manufacturer discounts on high-cost drugs, including GLP-1s. Visible, comparable pricing that the PBM model was specifically designed to prevent. The reforms fully kick in 2028 to 2029, but the incentive structure that made the system corrupt has been legally dismantled through legislation that can't be undone by a regulatory pen.
If you haven't heard of Beam's Dream Powder,
and it's great that like Sam can't respond to any of that,
then went and joined the administration. None of that happened. I have video of it, but none of it happened.
No, I didn't say
when I testify.
Dr.
Like none of that happened. I have video of those conversations, but none of it happened.
Not what I was talking about.
Okay. So again, I don't know what else to tell you. This stuff does matter to me. What else would you like to litigate about it? I'm not quite sure. Tell me what else you want to discuss. I'll discuss it with you. These are the
PBM, Patrick Ben-Med.
Indeed. God. I am glad we're not, well, potentially we'll do some Patrick Bet-David tonight, I guess. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But I am curious here. I mean, just from what I'm seeing, with a limited search on my own, like, the PBM situation isn't necessarily alleviated in a major or significant way by Trump administration policy. To me, what it looks like is realizing that the initial approach that Biden took didn't work, and then trying to come up with a new way to force them to actually do what they say they were going to do, you know? Yeah, right-wing debate strategy, do your side of the debate after your opponent leaves, exactly.
The things that matter to me.
Not the wars, not the...
But if you want to talk about war, Biden is the one who... We got into Ukraine under Biden, and...
What do you mean? We got into Ukraine? There was an invasion of Ukraine.
But Sam, there were potential off-ramps for that. One would argue, like the Minsk Accords, there were potential off-ramps.
I think Ukraine didn't want to give up their territory.
They didn't have to give up the territory in 22.
I don't see why
they
Biden
didn't have to give up the territory in 22.
Had any more opportunity to end this than Trump does.
I don't agree with you. I think that there were opportunities at the Minsk Accords that provided off-ramps, and we didn't take them. Why we didn't take them? I could posit I
so
guess.
Wait, it's we now. So under Biden, we controlled Ukraine, but under Trump, we don't control Ukraine.
Well, let's look at that one. And
but like there were off ramps during the Minsk Accords, the 2014 Minsk Accords, the set of two different peace talks that failed spectacularly. Like obviously there were off ramps there, but they weren't taken primarily by Russia. Like I genuinely I don't think she knows anything about what she's talking about.
And I this is the way I.
Who is this lady? She's the lady who got famous for bullying people on The Biggest Loser.
Perceive it. We pushed and we pushed and we pushed with regard to expanding NATO, and we promised we wouldn't. Right? There was a hard red line. You've got the memo, I think it was from, was it Burns to Condoleezza Rice, that was like, under no circumstance.
Oh boy, am I going to be able to explain the NATO like application process again? It's been a while since I did it.
Should you add Ukraine to NATO, it is a hard red line. Like, I can't remember. Niet means niet. It was something like that. Like, do not do it. We've known for a long time that this would trigger somewhat of a disaster. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cut to, we've had numerous opportunities to take an off-ramp prior to this.
Ukraine was never admitted into NATO.
Ukraine was never admitted into NATO, but not only that, having ongoing land disputes actively prohibits a nation from joining NATO. Right? So the idea that like, oh, well, Ukraine was imminently about to join NATO, they literally can't by the nature of the defense agreement itself.
But
which was designed, by the way, specifically to avoid having a new member join, only for all members of NATO to be immediately pulled into a conflict. Like, it was designed specifically to stop a country like NATO from being able to join. And the fact that people keep saying, well, you know, countries on the other side of Ukraine were joining NATO. And so that means, you know, Vladimir Putin just needed to take over Ukraine for a little bit of Lebensraum. Like, it's just silly. It's just stupid horse shit all the way down.
Wanted to be admitted to NATO, which is what
Ukraine did want to be. We also had an obligation from 93 to provide defense for Ukraine in exchange for them to give up their nukes.
Sam, what does that have to do with Putin?
Oh, God. So she doesn't understand why the United States getting Ukraine to give up their nukes. She doesn't understand the connection to not having nukes and getting invaded. Very simply, for those who haven't followed along in geopolitical terms for a while, if a country has nukes, threat of invasion goes down by a lot. Because the invaders don't want to have a miniature sun explosion over one of their cities or their invading military. Turns out, seems pretty risky. And that risk is something that a lot of nations don't want to entertain. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. But this is largely why countries like North Korea, for example, haven't been invaded. Notice how the United States isn't fucking with North Korea's leadership, isn't trying to blockade North Korea. It's because they have nuclear weapons capable of, like, obliterating Seoul. Like, it is a very delicate situation, in part because the nuclear weapons are present. And in this particular case, the argument has traditionally been that if Ukraine still had nuclear weapons, Russia would not be invading them today. And I think that that's pretty... I think that's pretty obvious. And then you combine this with the fact that the reason Ukraine gave up their nukes in the first place was because they believed they had security guarantees from countries like the United States. They believed in diplomatic security assurances, and frankly, the United States has not lived up to those agreements, which has, in retrospect, made it a huge mistake for Ukraine to have given up their nukes.
Putin saying, I don't want them to go to NATO.
Well, they didn't go to NATO.
But they... Okay, so...
Is it good for nations to have nukes, in your opinion? No. But in the current geopolitical landscape, it is a completely rational decision to try and secure nuclear weapons as quickly as possible, so as to ensure, like, your nation's sovereignty.
They're not in NATO now.
What
there
triggered?
Was,
so what triggered? So in the Minsk Accords, what triggered Putin's invasion? Tell me, what triggered it?
What triggered his?
What triggered the invasion?
In the Minsk?
So we blew the Minsk Accords.
What triggered it was he is a tin pot dictator, and wanted to use Russia's military might to seize land. Like, if you know anything about Vladimir Putin, you know, like, his lifelong ambition has been to rebuild the USSR with him as its leader. Like, that's his project. That's what he's been doing. If you listen to any of his speeches about why they're invading Ukraine, he straight up says it is a blood and soil war to, like, resurrect the Russian Empire. Like, that's explicitly what he's doing.
We had an opportunity to reinvigorate that in 22, to fix that whole situation, and it fell apart. There was an opportunity.
So you're justifying the invasion of Ukraine because...
No, I'm not justifying it. I've been on the record saying I think Putin is a monster. I think there were opportunities to negotiate this before it got this far. I don't know how. How would you get Putin out of Ukraine at this point? He's arguably winning.
He's not. I want to remind everyone, anytime you see the rhetoric of, oh, Vladimir Putin is winning, the conventional wisdom was that Ukraine was going to fall in, like, a week. They have been fighting a war for, like, 3 years at this point? 4 years? And, like, they're still holding strong. In fact, they have developed capabilities that allow them to strike deeply into Russian territory. If anything, what is happening is that Ukraine is showing just how weak the paper tiger of Russia is. Like, they are beginning to be able to exact some pretty punishing counterattacks on Russian, for example, strategic supply lines, etc. And granted, Russia hasn't gone into full, military mobilization, but, like, if they do have to do that, you all understand that, like, they've already basically shown how weak they are. You know?
What's the leverage?
I don't know if he is winning. I don't know.
Like, what's the leverage? The leverage is every day that Ukraine holds increases the costs on Russia. Like, the longer it goes on, the worse it is for Russia. It is a punishing military conflict. Also, just as a quick aside here, Russia launched 37% more attacks, but still lost ground in May, Ukrainian War Tracker says. Russia suffered a net monthly territorial loss for the first time since 2023. And, yeah, that's not great. That's not a great sign 4 years into a grinding war of attrition that, like, they're being pushed back. It's not like the Imperial war machine is not what it used to be.
Oh, I mean, I
Seems
really,
like it. So what's
it's
the
a little bit
leverage
difficult
now?
to
We
assess.
had more leverage in 22. We don't seem to have
we had more leverage in 22 with whom? With Ukraine or
with Russia before they were what appears to be winning.
What was our leverage with Russia?
What did Putin want? What did he want? He said, "Do not."
He wanted Ukraine.
Not add. What? Let's look it up.
I think he wants Ukraine.
Let's look it up.
He like people forget like the Russian army was like I don't know, like 30 miles away from the capital of Ukraine shortly after they launched their offensive. Yeah, like the amount of material that Ukraine has burned through of Russian forces. Like I remember like 2 years ago, they had to begin drawing on their Soviet stockpiles. They actually had to buy like Soviet era weaponry and ammunition from North Korea. Like they are not doing well when it comes to resupplying themselves, and those stockpiles are not infinite. And so I don't know, I guess I just have to say there is going to come a time where they run through those stockpiles and things are going to get an awful lot rockier for Russian forces.
Let's look it up. What happened? What was his ultimatum in 2022?
I think he wants Ukraine.
That's not what caused his invasion, though. We had an opportunity to negotiate that.
He literally gave a speech about how that was his motivation.
Situation in 2022. So,
like Tucker Carlson went and interviewed him, and Putin basically sat down and gave his like Russia-centric, Russian centric version of history, where the blood of Ukraine is actually the blood of Russia, and like they aim to take it back. Like this is insane. The idea that Putin was willing to not have Ukraine. No. Russia sought this fight out.
I think he wanted Ukraine.
What?
And I think that's what it
Let's
is.
just look.
I mean, I think that
Is she stupid or just crazy? I think she's just dependent on ChatGPT. Like genuinely. I think that like Jillian Michaels' problem here is that she cannot formulate independent thought outside of being fed lines from ChatGPT. So crazy and stupid. I would categorize it as an AI psychosis event, which, by the way, I do think we're going to start seeing more and more people on the right succumb to this kind of AI psychosis where they just become unable to formulate ideas without AI.
that's why you have countries like
invading Ukraine in.
She's acting like NATO is actively adding Ukraine at the time. That's just not historically accurate. It's neither historically accurate nor is it feasible under NATO's own charter. You cannot have a territorial dispute and join NATO. There is an entire process, a vetting process.
Let's see if I can. Okay. Historical grievances, deep-seated fears of Western democratic influence. Okay. Fear of Western expansion. Putin perceived Ukraine's pivot towards Western institutions.
Yeah. And you see, Hitler seized France because he was afraid of France's eastward expansion. Yeah, Hitler just needed a little bit more legroom,
Particularly the EU and NATO, as an existential threat to Russia's geopolitical sphere of influence and security. That's what I just said.
I understand.
That's what I just said.
That's what I just said. The AI
There's
agrees
so much
with
pressure
me.
on NATO that it can be measured. It's truly a tornado.
Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. I appreciate you. that one hurt a little bit, but I appreciate you. Unless Brutus can handle chat all on his lonesome, can you turn on sub only mode? Can hold up for another hour or so? Okay, just let me know, Brutus.
I understand
eventually,
that Putin says that it was because it's an existential threat to have an independent Ukraine to them. But I mean,
let's see.
I don't think that justifies an invasion.
I'm not telling you it justifies an invasion. I'm telling you there was an opportunity in 20.
What would America should have done at that point? We had a pact with them to provide defense against
I wouldn't
Russia
have continued expanding NATO. It seems like that was kind of a big deal.
I would love Sam to ask her at this very moment what she thinks NATO is. Right? Because in broad strokes, NATO is a defensive alliance. Like it is a mutual defense pact between a large number of different countries. And I don't necessarily know if she knows that.
What was the NATO expansion in that direction? As far as I know,
we have
most of what public officials in the U.S. were saying
when
is
we
that we're not going to expand to Ukraine.
When we promised, right? When was this? Reagan administration? We promised we wouldn't expand NATO. Would we add like 15 countries and put it all the way on their border?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. What did the U.S. promise Russia about NATO expansion? Wasn't this Reagan? What Gorbachev heard. All right. Hang on. 1990 assurances. Is that it?
Here, you know what? I think just to make my own point here, this is from the, I believe, was it CSIS? Well, regardless, this is a good good map for you guys to take a look at, familiarize yourselves with. So when she's saying, well, we had a chance in 2014 and in the 2022 negotiations, and really all Putin wanted was for us to stop expanding NATO. Even if you're talking about from 2014, it had been 5 years since NATO had expanded. And when we're talking about NATO expansion in 2009, it's literally Croatia and Albania. Like, it's nowhere near Russia. So in order to look at the stuff that got added near Russia, you have to go back to 2004, which even if she's talking about the earlier Minsk attempts to have an agreement, right? That's still a decade earlier. And if you're talking about 2022, then you're talking about 18 years after former Soviet satellite states got, like, put into NATO. So, like, when we're looking at the enlargement of NATO, the idea that, like, oh, well, he needed to take Ukraine because NATO kept getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, it was such a threat that it took, it was going to take 18 plus 1 year.
When are we going to talk about Russian expansion? They've already gotten Putin in Canada.
Look, Russian expansion, it's a tricky thing. But sometimes if you Google it online, you're not going to get geopolitical based answers. You're going to get something very, very niche. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Anyway.
Okay, James Baker told Soviet leader
Amanda, thank you for being a
Gorbachev
member.
that there would not be an expansion 1 inch eastward. Okay, so since then, we've added like 15 countries and we're about to move it all the way to their border. Like, probably just shouldn't have done that since then.
Wasn't that the thing that wasn't even written down? Like, it was just a verbal kind of gentleman's agreement?
As far as I know,
country NATO add. Okay, so
Vladimir Putin is un-Canadian. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a really good tactic on the part of Canada. If Putin ever tries to invade Canada, like, every Canadian's just gonna be ravenous for him.
searching.
We did move.
We added 16 countries. After we promised
they
not
weren't
one inch.
all necessarily equal,
Since
but,
1990, NATO has expanded to include 16 new member countries through 6 waves of enlargement, increasing its total membership from 16 to 32. The expansion incorporated nations from Eastern Europe and the Northern region.
Oh no. Just want to point out, Finland and Sweden only joined NATO because of Russia's invasion. Right? When we're talking about like North Macedonia and Montenegro, these are not deeply concerning additions to the defensive alliance that worry Russia. Like, again, fuck. She's so bad at this.
We put it right on the border there, which was a no-no. And we have, was it WikiLeaks or was it Julian Assange? What was it that leaked the memo from Burns to Condoleezza Rice saying, no. I'm just saying. So if you're going to say Trump is a president of war, I don't actually agree with you. I don't think so.
I'm talking about Iran.
Okay, let's talk about Iran.
We attacked Iran. We did. We did not attack Russia.
True.
You understand? You're comparing providing defensive weaponry to Ukraine
is this a,
to
okay, so
literally
is this,
bombing another country.
My feeling on Iran right now is that we don't really know how it's going to turn out. So far,
we don't really know how it's going to turn out. She says, surrounded by flames as the economy dies. And she just turns to you and says, "It's the Aurora Borealis. We're having steamed clams."
What do you mean we don't know how it's going to turn out?
Okay,
we already know right now.
I don't agree with you.
That we have killed thousands of civilians. We have expended
thousands of civilians. We've killed thousands of Iranian civilians on the street.
Yeah?
We've killed thousands of Iranians, yes.
Civilians or the IRGC.
We blew up a fucking school full of children.
Civilians. I don't think that's controversial at all.
Really?
The
All right.
president attacks country. He's not a warmonger.
God. Attack on Pony Productions. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Have we killed thousands of Iranian civilians? I know there was some skepticism over a school.
ChatGPT, did we commit war crimes? Hey ChatGPT, did we do war crimes or not? ChatGPT would never lie to me. It would never hallucinate false information.
There's skepticism over that school?
Yes, because
I don't even think the U.S. government has denied it. They just said that it
they've said that they think that it was probably an IRGC missile potentially hitting the school. And there's no defined answer because I tried to find it. How many?
My God. I mean, the level of delusion
Really?
to argue that somehow we're not engaged in a war and that it could work out okay.
I do think it could work out okay,
Like
Sam.
you're to the right of you know,
the U.S. killed
significant portion of the Republican Party. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Let's see.
Also, just as an FYI, back on March 11th, the New York Times reported that the Defense Department itself had launched an investigation into whether or not the U.S. was responsible for the bombing of that girls' school in Iran, and their findings were that the United States was responsible. That's according to the Pentagon's investigation. And the reason that the United States hit that school was because the intelligence agencies couldn't be bothered to fucking Google it on Google Maps. And so they were operating and selecting targets using AI, by the way, in order, based off of that old data. So that is how that worked.
How many civilians have we killed? Okay. So how many do you think it is?
How many do I think it is?
Yeah.
I think we've killed probably thousands.
Okay, the Manab school strike is the first thing that comes up. The primary incident under U.S. military investigation is the strike on an all-girls school near Manab, which killed at least 156 to 175.
Yeah, literally, this is Sam Seder versus the machine. This is like John Henry versus the steam engine, okay? We're seeing a man battling against the AI tide of misinformation and unearned pride.
Okay, urban strikes. Independent documentation from news outlets like the Mayor News Agency.
Sam looks tired. I mean, wouldn't you be tired if you had to speak to Jillian Michaels for more than 5 minutes? And he's been doing it for over an hour.
With specific incidents, like an attack on Tehran's Nilofar Square. I don't know if this is us. That killed 20 civilians.
Human Rights says 1,700 civilian deaths, civilians. Tens of thousands have been wounded, supposedly. I mean, I don't think we can know
exactly. Tens of thousands of civilians or IRGC?
No, you see, the United States, anyone the United States kills, they're bad guys. If a U.S. bomb kills someone in Iran, they're part of the IRGC. Those children, IRGC. Those elderly grandmas, IRGC. All right? The students, IRGC. It's true. All of them are in the IRGC. ChatGPT told me so.
Which I don't really, to be honest, I don't really feel bad if the IRGC, who's hanging teenagers, I don't really feel bad if they're being killed. I'd rather see.
What about if, because it's interesting, right? Like, you don't feel bad if the IRGC gets killed because they kill innocent civilians. But you aren't pausing to consider the possibility that by dropping bombs on another country while waging war on it, one might kill those same teenagers that you think the IRGC is evil for targeting. Okay. I guess it's only bad when Iran does it to folks like Jillian Michaels, as opposed to the principled Mr. Seder, who's over here saying it's bad when we do it, it's bad when they do it.
I guess you learned the name of Jillian's girlfriend. Misinformation.
Sake, that was so good that you killed it. You killed it. And now we're opening an investigation. The autopsy will be done soon. We've recovered the murder weapon. It was jokes. They're too deadly. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs.
Yeah. The IRGC not beat women to death for their hair sticking out of their hijab or engage in sexual torture. Like, I don't really feel bad about the IRGC.
That was exactly how we were sold to go into Afghanistan, too.
But we don't, Sam, we don't have boots on the ground.
In Afghanistan.
We've lost 14 million soldiers.
We don't have boots on the ground, except, on our military bases all across the Middle East that got bombed so badly that people had to go work in hotels. And we don't have troops on the ground, except we have one of the largest naval fleets the U.S. has assembled in modern history, conducting a blockade of a vital global trade route. But we don't have troops on the ground because they're on boats, Fivehead.
Soldiers. We're in the process of a negotiation, are we not?
How many?
14 soldiers? Our soldiers?
Oh, I thought you said 14 million.
14 soldiers.
We've lost, we're spending billions upon billions of dollars.
First of all,
that I know you were so concerned about.
Okay,
we're going to end up exactly at the best case we could end up.
Fraud in California?
JPCOA.
Just a fraction of the fraud in California.
A fraction of fraud?
I do think. Tell me something. I have a question for you. Why would Iran enrich uranium to up to 60%? Why? We have that.
Well, Sam is definitely the only one in the fight who takes visible battle damage. He's also the only one who clearly wins. It's like the video game boss fight. It really is.
Independently verified.
Why would they? Why would they store it?
Why would they enrich it? Why would they enrich it to up to 60%? Why?
Because it's leverage.
Well, you want them
because
to have that leverage? I don't want them to have that leverage.
They didn't start to do this until Trump unilaterally got out of the JPCOA.
That is not true.
It is true.
That is true. Like we have international verification of this. Do. I'll find it later.
No, it isn't.
And they built up their stockpiles. They
so Iran has never been a threat. They haven't chanted death to America. They haven't had a nuclear program. It hasn't been a problem for years.
They haven't had a nuclear program outside of starting to store this enrichment.
So they enriched it because of Trump. Okay, so that's the reason.
No, they didn't enrich it because of Trump. Trump was the one who took us out of the deal that if we're lucky, we will get back to.
Why did he take us out of the deal, Sam?
Because he resented that Obama signed it? I have no idea.
Sam,
because
that's not
there
why.
were also people in his administration who wanted to have more of a conflict with Iran, and it wasn't until his second term where he had more toadies that he was able to. And so Iran, had they a nuclear weapon, I think we probably would not.
Yeah, by the way, according to CBS, Iran is believed to have halted its nuclear weapons program in 2003. And the U.S. intelligence community assessed last spring that the program hasn't restarted. Again, we also have the testimony of Tulsi Gabbard herself in front of Congress. So, like, I don't know, like, basically Sam is 100% correct here. Like, enriching the uranium up to 60% is a sign, hey, we can get it this high, we can make it go higher if we need to. It's an attempt to establish a deterrent, right? And in the sense that, like, what they're doing now is a completely different strategy, it's because they realized, oh, the United States is just not going to let this go. We need to establish a different form of deterrence. So they are using their economic nuke, seizing the Strait of Hormuz. And we are going to find out just how absolutely devastating that can be.
Not be bombing them.
That's true. We probably would not be.
It is the most.
That's also true. Donald Trump killed the leader of Iran who had a prohibition against developing nuclear weapons because they're a sin against God. Literally, Donald Trump at every step of every juncture has made it easier for Iran to develop nuclear weapons.
National thing in the world for them to pursue that.
Well, I personally do not want,
unless they get the benefits, and they've put on the table on multiple occasions already deals. In fact, the PM of Oman, who was doing the negotiation, said that Iran.
Wait, why would they need to build a nuke though to establish a deterrent? Like, wouldn't they buy them if they wanted them? You can't just buy a nuke.
Had made a deal to get rid of all of their
generally speaking,
that they would not stockpile. They would only. Excuse me. Let me finish.
Okay.
They would only enrich uranium at a level that was necessary for a civilian nuclear power program.
They just said they wouldn't do that.
And Witkoff and.
I feel insulted that these AI overviews have lingered on the screen for so long.
Kushner, for whatever reasons, some speculate because they didn't come with any experts on nukes. Some speculate because Jared Kushner has a lot of interests outside of that room that he is working for. I don't know what the answer is to either one of those. But we do know that this offer was put on the table
while the deal
before
so here's why
the United States attacked.
Okay. So
why are we looking at the AI overview? Because that is the supreme intelligence Jillian Michaels worships.
Saying Iran never violated the JCPOA. Never.
I don't know if they never violated, but they certainly didn't increase their uranium productions. I'm sure on some level there were probably
there were international inspectors to verify that. There were mechanisms in place to like ensure compliance.
Specific technicalities.
130 metric tons in 2016 of heavy water stockpile that I guess you use to enrich uranium.
You can use heavy water for a lot of different things. But yes, it can be used to enrich uranium as well.
Advanced centrifuge development in 2016, 2017. Systemic deliberate breaches of the deal in 2019 and 2021. Following
the deal was
exceeding
broken.
enrichment purity caps, JCPOA strictly limited uranium enrichment to 3.67, and they had enriched to 20% in 2018. What do you mean this happened under Trump? This has been happening.
Donald Trump pulled out of the JCPOA in 2018. Like the reason that they have 60% enriched uranium is because Donald Trump pulled out of the JCPOA. It's directly related. Now, let's take a look here. I'm going to look up this article and actually read it. Iran has exceeded the limits of its nuclear deal again, UN report says. Okay, let's take a look. Whoop. Okay. Iran's nuclear deal restricts the amount of certain sensitive materials the country can have at any one time. According to a report by UN Atomic Watchdog, it has exceeded one of the soft limits agreed with 6 major world powers. Said the country has 130.1 metric tons of heavy water when it should not have more than 130. Oh no, they had 0.1 over the limit. Oh no! This is the second time Iran has surpassed its threshold for heavy water, a material used as a moderator in nuclear reactors. Oh, okay. Which, by the way, I believe under the JCPOA, Iran was able to have nuclear reactors. JCPOA. Yeah, like a big component of the JCPOA was regulating Iran's one of Iran's major nuclear reactors, so that it couldn't be used to like create higher enriched uranium, specifically. Let's see. Iran has said it will transfer 5 tons of heavy water outside the country after IAEA chief Yukiya Amano expressed his concern. This will happen within days. The last time Iran overstepped that mark was brief, passing without major criticism from the other countries. So just to be very clear here, the 2 violations of the JCPOA that Jillian Michaels is talking about here is just having slightly too much heavy water, at which point international regulators said, hey, you have slightly too much heavy water, and Iran was like, oh, okay. We're going to give that away to one of our nearby allies. Like this is a nothing. This is absolutely nothing. Embarrassing for her to bring this up like a gotcha. Also, Sake, let's take a look. What is this? Unironically,
we will not give in to the thinkers.
It's true. The ideas are more dangerous than the gun. The gun is good. The penis is evil.
It's been happening. I don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. I don't. So it's one thing to say they don't have one. Okay. But then just tell me, why then are they violating the JCPOA?
Because the JCPOA doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. Donald Trump killed it. After Donald Trump killed it, they're not bound by it anymore. And the prior violations were having slightly too much heavy water, at which point they transferred the heavy, like more than enough heavy water out of the country so that they were within the legally allowed limits under the JCPOA.
Before Trump,
it was Trump unilaterally left it.
Unilaterally left it? What do you mean?
He quit. He quit he quit it.
Why did he quit it though, Sam? You know Obama gave them pallets of cash, right?
Oh my God, Jillian, it was their own cash. It was their money. The money was unfrozen.
Oh, do you know how much cash they made? Twice that in selling their oil in the wake of our bombing.
Well, this is one of the reasons that if Trump can get China to buy oil from us, that's a nice little checkmate.
We don't make the same kind of oil that they make. Not all oil is the same oil.
Without us having boots on the ground. I would actually like to see, I think the Iranian regime is a cancer. I think they're the
China's to really hammer this home. China already buys oil from us. China already buys huge amounts of oil from the United States. The reason they buy a lot of oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz is because it's a different kind of oil used for things like jet fuel. Like the kind of oil the United States by and large makes cannot simply be used instead of the oil that comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
Number one funders of terror. I think they're evil and the atrocities that they commit.
Terror? What?
They don't fund Hamas. They don't fund Hezbollah. Really? They're not the number one funders of terror in the world?
Oh, I meant international terror that would implicate us.
They fund terrorist organizations. I'm not for it.
They fund. I mean, I don't know. Hezbollah is more of a militia and a paramilitary.
Okay. Do they fund those groups though? Yes. They're the number one.
They do.
Okay. They're the top disrupting force in the Middle East. Why?
The idea that Iran is the top disrupting force in the Middle East versus the United States government is honestly one of the most baffling things I've ever heard in my life. Imagine saying this when Donald Trump has openly talked about arming the Kurds to try and overthrow the Iranian government. Imagine saying this when, like, the United States has been trying like in Iran itself did multiple operations to try and overturn its government across the last century. We just got out of the war in Afghanistan in Afghanistan and then Iraq, and like the ideas here, like I'm malfunctioning. I'm malfunctioning really hard at the idea that like, oh no, it's all Iran. It's been Iran the entire time. Definitely not the United States, though. Just out of curiosity, which nation in the Middle East has been declaring war on other nations the most at the moment? Oh, it's Israel. It's the country diplomatically, economically, and militarily propped up by the United States. Oh, weird. Weird how that's not considered destabilizing for the region as they march towards Beirut.
Why would the
in what manner?
Well, you tell me. Why does the Saudi crown prince say?
I think a lot of people would suggest that Israel is the top disruptive force.
Why does the Saudi crown prince say that the Ayatollah was like Hitler? Why?
Why does Hitler 1 say Hitler 2 is like Hitler? why does the crown prince of Saudi Arabia? Oh, you mean the guy who ordered a journalist, an American resident, chopped up in the embassy? Oh, you mean the autocrat who runs a country full of oligarchs? It's propped up by slave labor? Why does he think the Ayatollah is like Hitler? I don't know. They're all like authoritarians are all kind of Hitlers when you think about it.
If he's
because he has a rival country and is in competition.
So yeah, they're both attempting to become regional powers. Saudi Arabia has been like, if you look, for example, at like Yemen and what's been going on in Yemen, like Saudi Arabia, UAE, like all these, Iran, all these countries have different geopolitical interests in like the outcome of like the civil war in Yemen. And for now, it seems like the Houthis? Yeah, have gotten the upper hand. But like the main funders of that were Saudi Arabia. It's because they're building up their regional capacities.
So the Abraham Accords, if this regime ended up falling and you could expand the Abraham Accords, do you think that's a bad thing? If they were incapable of funding terrorist organizations, do you think that's a bad thing? If the Iran never was able to get a nuclear weapon, you think it's a bad thing? I just don't think it's a bad thing.
A new dictator in Iran, would that be better? Is that what you're suggesting? Like the Shah?
I think it'd probably be the same. Oh, the Shah? Who are you talking about? Reza Pahlavi? I don't
look like crab, talk like people. Wait, no. I think Antonio was okay. I think he's okay. I think he just really likes crabs.
I don't think that he's as nearly as bad as the
Well, I'm not saying you should install a new Shah. I'm talking about the old Shah, his father.
I guess I'm a little bit open to this rhetoric about the rising of the crab lord.
I don't think his father was as bad as the Ayatollah, no. I do know that he had like secret police and all of that, but I don't think he was as bad as the Ayatollah, no.
And you do know that it was the United States that put him into power.
Let's actually relitigate that for just
please do. Yeah, let's relitigate it by all means.
Just a moment. So, when did that happen? We went in
1950.
20 years, right? And when did it happen? 1950, right?
I think it was 53. Maybe it was 51.
Okay. So there's I actually watched a whole thing on this, and I would have prepared better for you. But 20-something years later, we weren't involved in that. 20-something years later, after we got involved,
well, 20 years later, there was a revolution, and then other bad things happened. Yeah, well, they wouldn't have had to have a revolution, and all those other bad things happen as a result, if we hadn't overthrown their country.
In 79, that's 20-something years later.
Yes.
By the way, the guy that the Shah replaced was a horrible person. I remember I had a whole interview about this. Hold on. I didn't know we were going to talk about this, so
all right.
Hold on.
It's all right. Let's not.
But hold on. Who did? He was like a horrible person that the Iranians hated. I know that we thought that he was like this really good guy, but he actually wasn't.
In getting rid of their democratic elected leader.
Sam, that happened in the 50s, though. The Ayatollah...
Back in the 50s, Sam, we hadn't finished inventing democracy yet. All right? It would take us another 40 years for us to figure out how to do democracy right, Sam. And then we were able to spread democracy across the Middle East. Look at Iraq. Look at Afghanistan, Sam. We finally got it right.
Yes. 30 years later, nothing matters. I get it. Honestly, there's no point in us talking about this.
I'll tell you. It's actually really interesting.
Admittedly, this is a totally irrelevant sidebar, but it is kind of an interesting story. So if you want to know the history behind what really happened.
Wait, I'm sorry. I need to know. Do, 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 do. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Do 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 do. Just out of curiosity.
Sidebar, but it is kind of an interesting story. So if you want to know the history behind what really happened to Mossadegh, I have a link to it in the show notes.
I mean, I
can't
think
remember his name. Okay, Mossadegh, that's right.
Okay, let's check out the show notes. Well, I don't. Ah, here it is.
When we went into Iran in 19...
Oh, good. It's Dad Saves America. That guy that's interviewed What If Alt History multiple times about the inevitable civil war that's going to happen here in the United States. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna subject you guys to this. I'm gonna watch it off stream and decide if I will subject you guys to this, okay? But it is going into our watch bin.
When we
just letting you guys know.
Honestly, there's no point in us talking about this.
I'll tell you. It's actually really interesting.
Admittedly, this is a totally irrelevant sidebar, but it is kind of an interesting story. So if you want to know the history behind what really happened to Mossadegh, I have a link to it in the show notes.
I mean, I
can't remember his name. Okay, Mossadegh, that's right. Okay, hang on.
I've run out of time. It's 4:30.
All right. Well,
do you have any more?
I do think the idea that like it is a myth is a bit undermined by the fact that the CIA acknowledges that they were specifically aiming for an undemocratic outcome for their coup, which they acknowledged in 2023. A little bit undermined, but okay.
I was actually going to tell
thoughts to where I or anybody on my show has offended you. I'm happy to.
Mossadegh's signature achievement. Okay, he created severe economic collapse, retreat from democratic principles and power grabs. Like Mossadegh actually wasn't this tremendous guy. I forgot this because it was about 6 months ago. So forgive me if I don't remember.
Yeah. Trump also isn't some great guy. Should we overthrow him and put an authoritarian dictator in place? I don't think so. I think that's bad still.
Remember the details, but he turned out not to be a tremendous guy.
So, what other tremendous guys do you think the United States should be overthrowing?
What I'm saying is that people did not actually love Mossadegh. So yes, I do know that it was mostly MI6, not necessarily the CIA, but we were involved. That did get involved in that coup. It was like 20-something years later, though, that the Ayatollah came to power. We weren't involved in that.
We weren't involved in the Ayatollah coming to power. No, it was because the Iranians overthrew their government.
Right. We're in agreement on that fact? I'm not quite sure exactly. Your argument is that Iran's enriching uranium because of Trump. That the JCPOA was perfect.
I'm saying that the JCPOA...
The facts don't show that, though.
Okay. Well, you're the only person
I just read them to you.
But I know you just read about it, so you must know.
Okay, so what's online is wrong. All right, I'll drop it in the show.
This is not a controversial statement.
The JCPOA
Everybody knows that Trump jumped out
prior to Trump into the show.
The real issue that the neocons and your buddies, who are in favor of this attacking Iran and doing it because they're perceived
Sam,
as
we've lost 14 soldiers, which is terrible, but they've killed
let me finish.
They've
the
killed
real reason
hundreds
is
of Americans over the last 47 years.
Obama's deal did not go far enough in their estimation.
I wonder how many Iranians the United States has killed over the last 47 years.
In terms of curbing Iran's, proxies, whether that was the Houthis or whether it was Hezbollah or whomever. And
if Trump is successful
and there
in
has
striking
been
a deal with Iran,
47
I think it would be a great thing. Will that happen? I don't know.
To get rid of Iran, and they finally found an American president who's willing to do it. And that's what this.
So what about the fact that the Saudis want to get rid of Iran? Do you just blame Israel?
No, I'm quite.
Or every single president that has said I'm going to deal with Iran, don't. Every single one.
I mean,
but like that. What about them? What about them? Just
listen.
Just Trump.
The Iranians came to George W. Bush and tried to make a deal in the wake of 9/11 that was completely comprehensive. And in fact,
what does that
not
have to
only
do
did
with
they
Trump,
do this,
though?
they brought the deal to the Swiss. The Swiss went to the United States and said, "Here's a big deal where Iran is willing to stop fund
and that they adhere to the
proxies."
JCPOA, and Trump ruined it.
And
That's
the
not true.
Bush administration was so upset that there was a chance for peace with Iran that they sanctioned Switzerland for even delivering the message.
Just the plot to depose Mossadegh.
The American position shifted in late 1952 when Dwight D. Eisenhower was elected president. In November and December, British intelligence officials suggested to American intelligence that the Iranian prime minister should be ousted. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, of course, suggested to the incoming Eisenhower administration that Mossadegh, despite the latter's open dislike of communism, would become reliant on the pro-Soviet Tudeh party, resulting in Iran increasingly turning towards communism and towards the Soviet sphere at a time of high Cold War fears. Yeah. Cool stuff. Yeah, the United States and the United Kingdom agreed to work together towards Mossadegh's removal. But also Mossadegh, like, I think a lot of people need to understand. Also, hello, Caroline Kwan. Thank you very, very much for the raid. Welcome, folks. My name is Riverboat Jack. I talk about the news. I talk about politics. I'm a socialist trans lady. She, her pronouns. Welcome in, folks. Get yourselves a drink and a snack. We're doing a deep dive today. Or at least trying to. And having some good fun while we do it. But Mossadegh, I think people need to understand kind of some of the background of like the Iranian 53 coup d'etat, right? Because essentially the Shah, beginning in like 1949, there was an assassination attempt on the Shah. And that really spurred the Shah to become more active in politics. Prior to that, he'd been more akin to like a constitutional monarch, kind of like what England has, or the UK has, rather. And what wound up happening was the Shah between 1949 and 1953, well, not 1953, but we'll get there. The Shah tried to basically make himself the dictator of Iran. And he also opposed using nationalizing oil reserves so that and the oil fields to use it for the betterment of the public. And that was a big reason why the coup d'etat happened in 1953, because internationally there was a lot of support for it in order to prevent the nationalization of Iran's oil. So folks need to really understand that element. And Mossadegh really got into the position he did because he saw what the Shah was doing as deeply anti-democratic, and is quoted as saying that the Shah should rule but not, or should reign but not rule. And like we get into a whole bunch of messy shit after that. But essentially that's like the power dynamic at play when people talk about the 53 coup d'etat. But Jillian Michaels can't have that conversation. It's too hard, guys. It's too hard.
Have to do with Trump? I didn't vote for Bush. What does that have to do with any of this?
It is the same agenda that has been operating. This hostility towards Iran. And
yes, it was a real Shawshank redemption. Oh God.
Biden
hostility towards Iran. So when they chant death to America, they've
in my
killed
criticism
hundreds of
Biden
Americans over the last 47
getting back
years.
into the JPOC is the JPCOA. And in retrospect, I realized.
So you think Iran's this great regime, no threat, no worry, don't care if they have nuclear weapons?
This is exactly what they said. This is exactly verbatim. What you're saying to me right now is exactly what they said to people who said we should not be invading Iraq.
Thank you, Sam. I feel like I'm on crazy pills anytime this Iran nuclear weapons talking point is like floated by these conservative shills. Like I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's like time traveling. It's genuinely insane. No, guys, don't worry. They really have nuclear weapons this time. I promise. And I'd never lie. God. We're almost done. We're almost done, folks. Stay strong.
There's so many differences that it's staggering. We had boots on the ground in Iraq, and there were no weapons of mass destruction.
I was critical
Here,
of Biden.
we don't have boots on the ground, and there's 60% enriched uranium, and they're funding terror proxies. Night meet day. Totally different.
I see. It's a completely different set of reasons why we're invading this country.
There were no weapons of mass destruction. There's 60% enriched uranium. And a failure to comply with the IAEA and a funding of terror proxies. Do you know how long? I'm going to ask you one question. How long to get from 60% to weapons grade?
My understanding, according to Donald Trump, is that we were 2 weeks away.
That does seem to be the number, that the lift.
We were only 2 weeks away, guys. We're only a couple weeks away from it. Just a couple weeks away, folks. Is this, Yeah, here we go.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge.
Oh, Jesus.
To make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran.
Okay, I think something's wrong with the playback on this one. Let's do a little refresh.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear. It could be within a few.
The stored up, preserved knowledge.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just broken as hell. All right, try a different one here.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped.
Man, it's crazy. We've always been 2 weeks away from Iran having a nuclear weapon. In fact, I bet as we speak, they're 2 weeks away from Iran having a nuclear weapon.
From 60% to weapons grade is only a matter.
Also, Sake, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs.
Of weeks. I'm not okay. All right, I'll look it up.
You should talk to the CIA.
I actually did speak to somebody from the CIA. That's where I got it from.
There is no reason to have 60% enriched uranium if you are claiming that you have a civilian, peaceful nuclear program. Nothing over 5% makes sense. You don't need it. And yet, they've been stockpiling it. Getting from 60% to weapons grade is the easy lift.
I spoke. Okay, how long is the time frame?
Also, there are other uses for 60% enriched uranium. Specifically, medical and research purposes, as well as certain types of manufacturing require radioactive isotopes as well. But I don't think she's interested in having a discussion about those. What's this, Nathan?
You are now breathing manually. You are aware of your nose between your eyes. You can sense where your tongue is in your mouth.
I regret listening to those words strung together.
To get from...
Okay, honestly, I gotta go. This has been great. Very
right. I don't even know what uranium is, let alone 60% uranium. Uranium is spicy rocks. And the spicier the rocks are, under certain conditions, the hotter they can become, which in turn can make water into steam, which then turns turbines. And the spicier the rock, the more heat it can create. So 60% is much spicier than 5%. That. Also, don't eat the spicy rock. Don't do that. Don't eat it. Don't sprinkle it on your food. Definitely do not try to manufacture the spicy rock at your house. The forbidden spice. Don't try and treat it like the spice melange from Dune. Will not work out well for you.
Fine. And appreciate it.
Rich
Thank you for having me on.
To weapons grade. I'm just curious. Here, the short answer.
The well, there's your problem definition. I actually have never listened to Well, There's Your Problem. I've heard it's a great show. But I absorbed the spicy rock breakdown from pop culture. So I guess Well, There's Your Problem is breaking through. I love my uranium water. Uranium glass is actually really, really pretty.
10 billion Scoville rock tasty.
Just as an FYI, for those of you who go to like garage sales and shit, uranium glass can actually be very fucking cool. It glows and it's just really pretty. You can also find like 1930s sculptures made out of uranium glass. Very cool. Also, my understanding is it's not radioactive. So you can, you can touch it.
It's a matter of days to roughly 1 to 2 weeks, Sam. That's the
They're
answer.
days and weeks away from a nuclear weapon.
I'm
It's
gonna drop
amazing
this in.
how many years,
Sam, that is
for
true.
decades,
You are
I've been hearing
wrong.
that.
Sam, they had 60% enriched uranium.
Samuel, Sam, no, Sam.
Uranium. It takes, literally, the short answer is a matter of days to roughly 1 to 2 weeks. And I did speak to somebody from the CIA. No, okay. All right. How long is the time frame to get from 60% enriched uranium to weapons grade? The short answer is a matter of days to roughly 1 to 2 weeks. Because the law of physics and nuclear engineering, or because of the laws of physics and nuclear engineering, uranium enrichment is not a linear process. Moving from natural uranium to 0.07 purity to 20% enrichment takes about 90% of the total effort. Once uranium has already been enriched to 60%, nearly all of the heavy lifting is done. The final dash to weapons grade, 90% purity, requires only removing one microscopic fraction of unwanted isotopes. I guess that's the end of the show.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast,
It definitely is radioactive. Yeah, but not in the way like people think of things being radioactive, right? Like, it's radioactive, but not in like a if you touched uranium glass you're gonna die kind of way. It's radioactive in the radiation and the parts of it that are radioactive are trapped in the glass matrix and not
Samothy,
going
you're
to harm
just
you.
wrong, Samuel Saintfield.
Unless
You'll
you,
never
like-
understand how wrong you are.
Exactly, Nathan. You got it. Unless you're planning on smashing up your uranium glass and like snorting it, you're gonna be okay. When did the fitness lady do a right-wing pivot? Honestly, she's always been fairly conservative, which kind of makes sense if you look at her history of just becoming famous by yelling at overweight people on reality TV. And like on top of that, you have then I think she just got bored and wanted to feel included. Like, if I have to be completely honest with you guys, I don't know to what extent she even believes any of this nonsense that she talks, because she didn't have any firm positions during this entire conversation with Sam Seder. She just kept asking ChatGPT things. I think she's just genuinely succumbing to AI psychosis. So my uranium glass mortar and pestle should probably be thrown away. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. God. Yeah, happy Pride, everybody. All right. Folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Comments really help in the algorithm. Let me know what you thought. What was Jillian Michaels' best argument? Her best argument. And also, folks, if you need help getting involved with your local Dems or your local DSA, join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. We need to make our Dems more progressive, more pro-working class, and less sold out to the highest bidder on the corporate end of things. And also, folks, we need people to join the DSAs so we can make New York City DSA every DSA. Let's make all the DSAs as effective and get Zoran Mamdani's cooking in every corner of America, huh? And if you want to get just plugged directly into a door knocking campaign or a phone banking campaign, you can join Progressive Victory. There's a link down in the description, or at least there should be, that you can click, and it will take you to Progressive Victory. You can get involved in your local area and do door knocking, phone banking, text banking, all kinds of stuff. You can get involved wherever you are in the country. I promise. Go check it out. And last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. Check it out. It is comfy, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. There should be a link down in the description as well. Go check it out, folks. Let's keep on going. Oof. Zoran ate my baby. It's true. I saw it. He crawled into the sewers afterwards. Strangely enough, he looked like a rat in a Zoran Mamdani mask. It's because the rat men live down there. All right. Let's see. Zoran Mamdani's in bed with Brad Lander. I don't think they're that close. Oof. Let me see. Are you guys ready for our next segment? Gonna be rolling right into some Dave Rubin and his high-level ideas. But before we get too deep, if you guys gotten anything out of this show today, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, do the things, click the buttons that you know help the show. Remember, we got a little song to help you know what to do if you forgot. Click the goddamn button. Go, go, go. Click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click the button, click the button, click the button, click the goddamn button, click button, click button, click button, click Yeah, we haven't yet even begun to finish Dave Rubin's worst mistake. You know? We haven't even begun to explore Dave Rubin's worst mistake. First time chatter, happy to be here. Hey, Nan's Nuggets. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, hello, Condensed Can of Meat. Hello, Aphelion. Hello, Ranch Bricky. Hello, Soul Boot. Hello, Hermeticism. I like that username a lot. Hello, Goldfart. Also, absolutely Ace's username. Hello, Lady of the Meadow. Hello, how we doing, you lovely, wonderful people? Hello, Bipolar Junction. Hello, Zipzox. Hello. How we all doing, folks? Leftward Ho. Now that's a great username as well. All right. I got you guys. I got you. I said your name correctly because I'm literate. I have a degree in English literature. It's the one ability I have. All right. Whew. Oh, Jazzdog, the shields haven't been up. Brutus Magnuson stands alone, slaying chuds where they stand. All right. Happy to catch the third stream in a row. Hell yeah, Fox Girl Zoe. You can tell how I just split that sentence with a comma. That's right. And you know what? I appreciate anyone that appreciates a good Oxford comma, okay? It's very important. Let's jump into some Dave.
Trusting some.
All right. God. Look at him. So much hope behind those eyes. And yet, the truth behind them is already dead. He is but a shambling shell of what he once was. Let's see. Chud Slayer of the North. Oh yeah. Your pinky's up, motherfucker, with your Oxford commas. It is the proper thing to do with English. The Oxford comma. I will die on this hill. It is the clearest way to communicate your list-based adjectives and or lists in general. You need the Oxford comma, otherwise
People
you risk
like Jillian
confusion
have
and
zero
chaos.
understanding of geopolitical history or cause and effect. It always drives me crazy. There are many reputable sources, but no intellectual pursuits have a lefty bias.
Well, also, this is why curiosity is inherently like anti-fascist, right? Like just having curiosity and allowing yourself to like follow it and know. I guess it's also one of the reasons why research, like the skill of doing research, is kind of like a dying art. Because if you can take away the ability of people to do their own research properly and find actual real answers, then they just get lost and turn to ChatGPT, I guess, and just fuck up their brain. Also, Saki Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. What is this?
Anybody else want to negotiate?
God, I fucking love The Fifth Element. I need to watch it again. Ruby Rod is like a fucking 10 out of 10 character. Sake Tanuki, thank you. We needed that. We needed that. It got us back on track. All right. So, folks, we have to talk about Dave Rubin, part 3. I'm going into this blind. I don't know what he is about to argue, but I do know one thing, and that he is going to argue it exceedingly poorly. Can we not? No, we must. Mostly because I already delved into the first two parts, and if I don't go into the third one, people will be mad at me in my YouTube comments again. I took too long between the last one and the part two, so I'm just trying to not get yelled at. Let's jump into it, shall we? Please be nice to me.
Next surrounded claim is that progressives push normal, moderate Americans to the right.
Hell yeah. That's right. Advocating for basic human rights and economic justice makes everyone want to become more conservative. Love it.
To debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So my argument here is that what progressives are doing is opening up opportunities for people to reevaluate the way that they see politics, right? Progressives are arguing that more pocket power should be delivered to the average American. That is like one of the foundational tenets of progressivism.
Yeah. Can you say with that, what is more pocket power?
Okay, right. So this is the idea, right, that under our current system, we see that the majority...
I guess I'm a little confused here because I don't necessarily... Like, I've been seeing people on this episode in particular, Dave starts with a claim, but then what he gets hit with isn't, like, really engaging directly with the claim. There's a lot of intellectual building, which I'm not inherently against, like, building, like, intellectual scaffolding for, like, a bigger idea. But, like, I don't know how else to put this other than by being blunt. Someone like Dave Rubin is a stupid coconut. He's a stupid coconut head, right? And this is effectively the equivalent of like casting a level 10 spell on a level 1 goblin. And you don't need to do that. You can just present him like a basic refutation of his idea, and he will be utterly helpless before you, right?
Majority of power, as well as just like monetary control, exists within people who own private property. And to essentially decrease that gap, progressives want to give more power to those who are in the workplace.
Do you not want people to own...
I cast Wish to destroy that goblin.
private property?
Well, I'm definitely anti-capitalist, I would say.
Yeah.
So I would say that workers should own the means of production.
Right. Oh, so you're a communist?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
What is communism?
I haven't talked to a real life communist.
What's
in
a
while.
communist?
Well, you want the people to own the means of production. And
yeah.
you don't...
So,
I mean, like, you have to understand, this is basically the ideal setup for someone like Dave Rubin to just be like, oh, you're an honest to God communist. This should, on paper, work out really well optically for Dave Rubin. Let's find out if it does.
Seem to believe in
the people
private
who create
property.
The people who create value, as in create the value of commodities, should own the actual value that they create from that process. Yes.
So,
I do agree with her, though. She is correct.
So my answer, if you want the people,
I just don't think she's really making the case in this particular venue super well in such a way that it actually like hits at what Dave is talking about.
Everyone in this room and everyone in this country
if
to
they
have
work.
more, what I would want is that you would take less from them. So you tax everybody less. You remove regulation. You create the conditions for competition and capitalism so that more people will have more of their money. I want you, I assume you work. Do you work?
Yeah.
Do you pay taxes?
Yeah.
I want you to keep more of your money.
Right.
I don't know what you do. I don't know how much you earn.
Yeah, but Dave, 1% of her money is not going to be the same as 1% of your money. Right? And like, it isn't even a progressive tax when like conservatives talk about tax breaks. Like, the tax breaks that conservatives get are exponentially higher than what actual working people get. And by conservatives here, I mean, you know, the 1%. the wealthiest people to ever exist in the world, right? Like, taxes are what allow you to have a working fire department. Taxes are what allow you to have like a functional interstate system. Taxes are what allow you to have like basically the infrastructure we need to have a modern society. The argument that we should just all not pay taxes anymore is a really bad one. And it is deliberately painted in a way that like, oh, no, everyone will get to keep all their money. And that sounds great until suddenly you realize, oh no, Mima's not going to get Social Security. Oh no, Mima's also losing Medicare. Oh no, a bunch of people in my neighborhood just lost their Medicaid and now are like languishing in the street because they can't afford basic drugs or to go to the hospital. Like, it basically just turns into a nonstop avalanche of costs that have typically been absorbed by the US government, now being forced upon private citizens who do not have the individual means to actually solve these problems. And all that allows the rich to do is take home astronomically more money. But Jack, imagine if you saved $300 a year on your income tax. Boy, howdy, what a game changer. I could invest that in Bitcoin.
Whatever it is you earn, I want you to have more of that money so that you can put that money back into the system.
The majority of wealth in the
house.
system is owned by 1% of the population. You understand that, right? And where does that wealth come from?
Wait, 1% of the population. Do you know how much percent they...
Like, I don't disagree with her points here. This just wasn't the time to introduce them like this.
Pay in taxes, that 1%?
Not nearly enough, because the majority of their wealth comes from...
It's 47%. Hold on. So 1% of the population pay 47%. You accept that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be their fair share?
What percent of that
what would be their fair
is their
share?
actual wealth that they own? That, again...
Fact check. It's not true that in a current general sense that 1% of the population pays 47% of the taxes. Recent IRS data shows the top 1% pay about 38 to 40% of all federal income tax, with an unusual peak near 46% in 2021. Across all taxes, income, payroll, state, and local, their share is lower still.
But how can we seize the means of production without our okay buddy Jack?
I could swear that there is like some kind of Riverboat Jack based meme Reddit. I do not remember what it is though. I couldn't for the life of me tell you what it is. It might be r/okay buddy Jack. I have no idea. You guys will have to build the world you dream of. Plant the trees you may never see the shade of.
Majority of these lineages of power and ownership
what would be
date
their fair
back
share?
to
What would be their
first
fair share?
accumulation of...
What would be their fair share?
I would say that the fact that they own so much...
1%
You're not letting me finish
47% in taxes.
Here's my problem. You're not letting me finish the point, so we can't get from point A to B. Do you understand that?
Okay, so
cool.
He does understand that. He's doing it deliberately, so he has to answer less of your questions.
You accept that 1% pay 47%?
There's not going to be a fair share when their wealth is coming from the back ends of colonialism. So that's not going to work.
Okay, we got to pause there. We're going to reset. Please return to your seat. You've been voted out.
He's back. All right.
Good to see you again, Dave.
Nice to see you.
It's interesting to point to like 5 anecdotal examples as like an overall consensus on where the American people are moving.
Well, I think they qualify more than anecdotal in that Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat member of Congress. Bobby Kennedy is a Kennedy, which is a standard bearer for Democrat.
Well, he has the name Kennedy, so he must be a leftist. Is genuinely insane.
Do you think Bobby Kennedy is also in alignment with most of his family? Would you say that they would concur that he's a representative of the Kennedy family?
I don't know about most. I know some don't like
most,
him.
Most don't like
some
him.
don't.
Especially
some
those
don't
that are
like
the
him.
most vocal.
Wasn't this guy brought on the Majority Report, by the way? Was it? Am I hallucinating that? I haven't watched. I haven't been steady with my Majority Report watching lately. He was? Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. He did really well the first time he popped up on the show, so I'm intrigued to see what his appearance on the Majority Report looks like.
And still participate in
Well,
politics.
he's the
But we
one
can
that's
move
in the
from that.
midst of the
Talking about people like
Oh, he's also on the Humanist Report? Hell yeah. Also, folks, if you haven't, go check out the Humanist Report. Excellent program. Friend of the show.
Joe Rogan, Bill Maher, these
Yeah.
are people that thrive off of clicks and popularity. What's more clickbaity than I left the left? So many people get that, not just because they're getting a whole new audience in order to capitulate to,
Yeah.
but there's also like
So you think Joe Rogan?
there's also like a lot of like
hold on,
there's a lot of like oligarchic money
hold
too
on.
that like
That's quite
can
a claim.
incentivize people to
Wait,
change their worldview.
Wait. That's
like
quite, that's,
Russian money.
Hold on. That's
like
quite,
for people
hold
like
on.
Tim Pool
Hold
or
on.
like what was the Rubin report?
Yeah.
Did that also accept Russian money from Tenet?
All right, I'm more than happy to talk about that, but
Let's do
just
it.
very quickly to
Are you? Because I get the distinct feeling you're not.
impugn Joe's motives, that at the day before the election, he suddenly said, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump for financial or click motives when he's the largest podcaster in the world. That's what you just
I'm
said.
not saying it's just
That
Joe
is-
Rogan.
that
I'm
is
saying
qu- no, but that
that's
was
indicative
that-
of people
that
who
is
rely
quite-
on clicks.
that is quite
We
a
can walk
claim.
over Joe Rogan specifically.
Yeah.
I think his brain broke during
Yeah.
COVID. I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah.
because he went from somebody who went from like a huge Bernie Sanders supporter, so
Well,
pro
he-
single payer healthcare, ensuring that we're more diplomatic in our international.
Do you think
policy
it's
approach.
possibly he just
All of those-
evolved? Do you think it's possibly he just evolved to different points? than
All
you
of
did?
those
Do you
days.
think his brain
Real
broke?
quick.
It's not possible that he just
Real
started
quick,
thinking
Dave.
about things a little
All
bit
of those are
differently than you.
political foundations.
Yeah.
Believing that the United States should not continue interventionism, believing that universal health care should be a right to people. These are political foundations.
No,
you don't
but
just
that- but
switch
that's not-
your
no,
political
no.
foundations like
No,
that.
well, hold on.
You
First
find
off,
that people are bullying you, or you're
it is
saying the
not a-
left's
it's
too
not a-
mean,
it's not
as
a
I've
right.
heard a lot
It's
of
not
times.
a right to someone else's labor. You have a right to.
We can have a
free
universal health care
speech.
debate if you want, but I'm talking the overall.
You don't have a right to somebody else's labor. Is such an insane thing to say as a capitalist. Right? Like Dave Rubin considers himself a capitalist, and yet where do profits come from, guys? Where do company profits come from? That's what's left over after your expenses, right? And so it's the revenue minus the expenses. Hey, what is the biggest expense of a company, generally speaking? Oh yeah, it's labor.
Rubin's getting cooked single-handedly by this guy.
I see what you did there. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But labor. Labor is the biggest expense for corporations. And it's worth noting, none of that money that gets turned from revenue and into profit, none of that would be possible without the workers doing the labor. Profit is only possible when it is skimmed off the top. When you, at the top of a company, are entitled to the value of the labor and you withhold it from the people who actually made it. So it's weird that Dave Rubin would say this when capitalism is literally the ideology of being entitled to other people's labor.
America shifted
Okay,
to the right.
but it seems
I have to talk about
it seems
the
to me
last
you're-
person who debated.
it seems
Most
to-
people feel like they can't get a leg up in this economy.
Okay,
and
but-
when you have a Democratic Party, this is where I'm pretty critical of Joe Biden. You're going to love this.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I think that the Biden administration and then the following Kamala Harris presidential campaign, I don't think that they focus enough on what specifically needs to change in order for the average American to feel like their economic conditions are getting better. And while we can follow the metrics economically, and inflation was going down, unemployment was lower, most people didn't feel that. And when you feel like your rent is burdening you, 34% of Americans feel rent
Right.
burdened, which is huge. When you feel like the grocery prices are continuing to go higher, you're going to try to find.
Yeah, we looked at a study the other day, like somewhere like 50% of Americans are struggling to buy necessities at this point. I actually saw an article earlier today. Yeah, here it is. You know, not like the most rigorous of articles here from Yahoo Finance's MoneyWise, but worth pointing out. Running out of money. Kraft, McDonald's, Whirlpool CEOs all issue same dire warning about U.S. consumers. Let's take a look. American consumers have kept the economy afloat for years, even as inflation, high borrowing costs, and rising grocery bills squeezed household budgets. But some of the country's biggest corporate leaders are now warning that shoppers may finally be hitting a breaking point. And let's see. They are literally running out of money at the end of the month. We're seeing negative cash flows in the lower income brackets where they're dipping into savings. The industry has endured years of volume degradation because consumers had to absorb too much price. McDonald's CEO said that consumers had heightened anxiety. CFO noted gas prices are hitting lower income households especially hard, which is, of course, meaning that they can't go buy McDonald's. Of course. Of course.
Of course!
And yeah, it seems like people aren't wanting to buy Whirlpools anymore. So, I don't know, just to give a little bit of extra gas in the tank for what this guy's talking about.
An alternative, and when Donald Trump is saying, look, I'm going to fix all of the problems, I'm going to make sure everything's okay, some people are like, yeah, I want to go ahead and go.
Well, that's what politics is, right? Like, it's a secular
Yeah, is it good, folks, when people can no longer afford one of the supposedly cheapest fast food restaurants in America? I don't think so.
But we're not saying that ideologically Americans are more right-wing. Why do progressive ballot propositions pass even in red states? Nebraska, Ohio, we could go over minimum wage increases.
I got you. You did a lot there. Okay.
Let's answer something.
Please, for the love of God, stop. My brain can only handle so much. My name's Dave Rubin, not Dave Thinking. Got him.
Oh, okay, I'm trying. So first off, you want to talk about the tenant thing? What do you want to talk about? Where do you want to go? I'll even give it to you. I'll give it to you. Where do you want to go?
Yeah. Why did you take Russian money and pretend like you didn't know?
I was reached out to by Lauren Chen, who you might know as what's her name, Post Millennial Online, or
she's like the Canadian white nationalist that's Asian,
roaming millennial, and I've known her for about 10 years. Okay, and we were friendly over the years, and we had agreements and disagreements.
This is actually fascinating that Dave Rubin, rather than answering any of the shit he didn't know about, opted to talk about this. This is actually very funny to me. Like, instead of talking about how I have no idea how to address anything you just brought up, what if I talked about something horrifically embarrassing to myself instead? It's like, all right, why are you gay? Disturbed? Because women are hot.
We were on each other's shows, and she contacted me a couple of years ago.
And men are also hot. And so are non-binary people. Being bisexual and pansexual, it makes me very gay.
Said that she had some backers that she was talking to, and she was starting a new network, and they were talking to all sorts of people. She mentioned Tim Pool. She mentioned a whole bunch of creators that you guys know and I'm sure love. But it was people all over the political aisle. She said they wanted to create.
Didn't Lauren Chen? Am I misremembering? Didn't Lauren Chen like boost Stefan Molyneux, like the race realist guy? Am I misremembering that? Like I gotta be honest, I did not pay attention to like roaming millennial. You know, I did not have enough time in my day ever to like go out of my way for that. Am I remembering correctly that she was like part of signal boosting the extraordinary white nationalist? Yeah, she did? Okay, cool. Oh, she also did Richard Spencer. That's right. Yeah.
A free speech network. I said to her, listen, I am extremely, extremely busy, but I would consider doing something for you as long as I 100% control it. You have no control over the content whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for a ridiculous amount of money because I don't have time, and we'll see if we can come up with something.
I'm going to ask for a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm not going to ask where it came from, and I'm not going to look too hard either, because I
I am the intellectual equivalent of an assault rifle.
And there's nothing that could possibly be wrong with this deal.
Defense, I'm not going to attribute you. Like, let's say you didn't know that. And I'm not trying to say that
Yeah.
you were
That-
able
wait,
to
hold
know
on,
that
hold
it
on.
was
Wait,
Russian
wait,
money.
yeah.
But what I do think is interesting is that this anti-woke movement that just says woke a lot and calls it an
Just a
ideology, it is so easy to be ideologically aligned that Russian propagandists are like, yes, these are our people.
Do you-
This is how we're
hold
going to
on,
get
hold
the
on.
American
Do you-
people
do you
on board.
understand?
That's more of
What-
like the issue. It's
what-
not really your fault.
what show
it's
did
more
I-
so that
what-
like your
what-
whole ideology.
I mean, I would not be so quick to let Dave Rubin off the hook here. But I do think, I do appreciate what Mason, I believe his name is saying here, which is, Dave, you're basically exactly what a Russian stooge would want. Like what Russians desire in their stooges. They thought you were so dumb and so perfectly aligned with what a pro-Russian commentator would say that they just handed you a comically large pile of cash to keep doing it. And that should maybe be like a huge, huge wake-up call to you. And it's not, which kind of tells us everything we need to know. Pre-watched? Nope, not pre-watched.
Is like, wokeness
What-
is bad.
What show did I do for Russia?
What?
What show did I do for
No,
Russia?
I'm not saying
What
you
did I-
did a
what
show
did I
for
do?
Russia. I'm
What did
saying
I
Russia
do?
saw you
What
as a
did I do?
stooge
You did the Rubin report.
who could easily say the talking points that benefited them.
But do you understand? They gave me no talking points. I did a show. It was
That's
a
the point.
call-in show.
But here's what we're missing, Dave, right? I'm not saying
Oh, he can't. Oh, poor Dave. Guys. Dave's too stupid to understand what's happening to him right now. He genuinely doesn't get it. It's like when a dog looks in a mirror and doesn't see its reflection because there's no smell. They can't double smell themselves. Oh no. Oh dear.
saying Russia gave you a script to say. I'm saying Russia's like, yes, this is our guy. If we fund him more and we give him more influence, he's going to do
Oh
it
my
for
God.
us without even getting a script. Isn't that
Oh my
embarrassing?
God. No.
You
Well,
did
it's
it
a
without even getting instruction from them.
It's a quite literal fantastical adventure that you just went on there. Literally.
What's the adventure?
Literally, I did a call-in show
Why
for
would
them.
Russia?
What's the adventure? You're the one who got actual real money, Dave. Like, come on, man.
You don't even know.
Wait, why would Russia?
Wait, like the I love that Dave is either just really, really, really bad at trying to like avoid this conversation and topic, or like he is just genuinely too dumb to realize what is being discussed here. Like, just too dumb. He never stopped to think about why the Russian state would try and subsidize his program. Which is crazy, because if I found out that I was being subsidized by, like, some foreign agency, or if I found out I was being secretly subsidized by the CIA or what have you, I'd be pretty curious to know why. I'd be doing some soul searching here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And support the show, because you guys make the show possible without me taking mysterious donations from, state actors.
Should choose you and Tim
Hold
Pool.
on. You don't even know what I did. You don't even know what the Tenet show that I did, do you? Did you ever watch it? Do you know the name of it? Do you know anything that I did? So you don't. So you quite literally have no idea what you're talking about.
They just gave you money because they're altruistic?
No. Buddy,
They're just
buddy,
like, we're thinking of
buddy.
giving it to Dave.
No, because no. Well, first off,
They look, okay. There's something called beneficent ableism, all right? And it turns out the Russian
you
state
can
has
always
this
go
a
this
lot
direction.
in spades. We could always go this direction. I'll take a look at that in a second. What about Grigor Not Russian? What do you Gregor Not Russian? I don't know who that is. There is a mysterious benefactor named Grigor Niet Russian, who is a down-home Texas cowpoke who supports the Riverboat Jack LLC, no strings attached. And I don't ask questions. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. What is this?
If you don't want to see two robots smashing each other with
Jack,
cop
I am
cars and
actually
shit
a Russian bot. Here's some money, lol.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono.
as they fight to the death through the streets of Manhattan.
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
A mysterious $5 from a benefactor appears.
Ah, but are you a state actor? Because I think you might just be a individual actor. Maybe some kind of super actor. Chat is secretly a CIA op. It's true. Everyone else in chat is secretly a CIA agent. You can't prove me wrong. Nathan, thank you for the $5 dono. Spot Dogs, thank you for the $5 dono as well. Very much appreciated, folks. Also, Zetetic, thank you for the 200 bits. Very much appreciated. I thought Grigor was French. No, Grigor not Russian is a down home Texas cowpoke.
So just to be clear, you have literally no idea
His favorite dance is the hokey pokey and the American hot dog.
what you're talking about. You don't know the name of the show. You don't know the name of the show that I did.
Dave?
You don't know the name of the show that I did for them
I don't
or
think
what
I
I
need
did.
to know the specifics
if
on a
you read,
podcaster who.
I am curious. Why does Dave think that the Russian government gave him a comical amount of money? Like, what is Dave's even fake reasoning in this circumstance?
Who takes Russian money?
Oh my God! No, man.
But Dave is trying to respond to you.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Is he? I don't think he is.
hear his side of the story.
He's accusing me of not knowing anything. I know he took Russian money.
But he's also. We also like haven't heard his entire.
I literally did a call-in show at first, so my audience just called me and asked questions. Sometimes we talked about basketball, we talked about video games. It had literally nothing to do with foreign policy. I don't think we did one show on Russia or anything else. And then we shifted the show. That was kind of boring to me, so I was.
I mean, I'm gonna throw this out there. Could it be that you were asked to do extraordinarily saccharine, deliberately not particularly interesting content? I know, because we covered some of it at the time, and I was baffled as to why it existed. Do you think, Dave, that perhaps creating worthless garbage content that was low effort and easy for a colossally huge sum of money might have been a way to subsidize your main show activities? Could it be that you were actually getting paid for other work unrelated to, the hour-long program you put together with other garbage conservative creators? I knew this Jubilee was bad for Dave, but this is hilariously brutal. It's genuinely devastating. Like, he's so completely out of his depth at every turn. It's wild.
Like, my team.
Like, the next person they bring up is going to be someone who is like, so I've been texting your husband and we hooked up last week. Like, at the rate this Jubilee is going, like, we are headed into crash and burn territory.
5 minutes before we go live, we'll pick viral videos, woman throws hamburger at somebody at Wendy's, and I'll respond to it. That's what we did. And then guess what happened? After about 6 months of that, because I controlled the entire thing, I didn't even know what the clips were before I was doing them, the deal was off. They didn't want to do it anymore because I did not do anything. Yeah, and also notice I'm not under federal indictment. I'm not sitting here with a lawyer or anything else. And as a matter of fact, Merrick Garland, who I'm no friend of, basically said that the influencers had nothing to do with this. And if you read the just a second. And if you read the indictment, I'm the
Dave is desperate to run out the clock. They only have like 4 minutes left in this entire segment. He's running for the end zone.
The one that got on the Zoom call with the backer to ask more questions about it and everything else. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, Dave, I'm not saying you were saying Russia's such a great country, everyone should love Vladimir Putin. And I get that your show might not even been political in nature.
I know. So
but
you
the fact-
didn't, just to be clear, you didn't know the show. You didn't know the show or what I do.
Yeah.
Is he playing dumb or is he stupid?
He's stupid. Like Dave Rubin isn't a true believer. Dave doesn't believe anything. He'll say whatever he needs to say to get money, right? So as a result, he has no investment in knowing anything about this shit, right? Outside of what he needs to be functional in front of a camera, that's it. And as a result, he's stupid. In part because the stupidity shields him, and in part because it creates like a kind of plausible deniability. But like, he's also just not that interested in knowing stuff. Yeah, he's both playing dumb and is dumb, and also completely lacks any self-awareness. Exactly, Brutus Magnuson. Nailed it.
But the fact that they are building the social capital of the Rubin report being larger in infrastructure is because...
It wasn't the Rubin report. It wasn't even the Rubin report.
You as an entity, Dave, they want to legitimize you more in the eyes of the viewers that they are trying to capture. That is the point of why Russia paid you specifically. They don't do...
I do want to ask Dave, what happened to that money? Did you give it back? Did you take the money and spend it on other parts of your show? Because it kind of seems like that was the point. It was to subsidize all of your other work that they already agreed with, and they thought by boosting you, they could boost positions that were more favorable to the Russian government. Full stop. Simple as.
Do it out of the kindness of their hearts. They didn't do it because they're like, Dave seems like a good guy. They did it because Dave's politics is advocating for cheerleading for Donald Trump policies, regardless of any criticism. That is the point.
Where is the case?
What do you mean, where's the case?
Where's the case? Where's the case right now? Why am I even able to talk about it? Why don't I have a lawyer sitting here? Where is the case?
I'm not saying what you did was illegal in nature. I'm just saying that...
Well, hold on. There was a federal indictment. Wouldn't I be a little afraid to be talking about it right now?
I'm not, Dave. I'm not claiming...
Are they?
I started this conversation.
Is anyone in jail because of this?
You might not even have known about the Russian money. I'm not trying to cast that blame on you. I'm just saying it's interesting that your show is so ideologically aligned with what Russia wants for the United States that they are going to give you money to continue to do it. That is the point.
What is it that I do for Russia?
You suck Donald Trump's dick without criticizing any bad thing that he does.
All right, yeah, we gotta pause. Mason, you gotta go.
Sorry.
We're so close to the end. We're so close. We're almost there. This has actually been brutal, but I would like someone on Jubilee to actually address what Dave Rubin's prompt was, because it is, at face value, absolute nonsense.
Hi.
Hello.
I actually will agree with you that establishment Democrats have done a really terrible job of ensuring that their policies reflect what the people actually want. Most people want universal health care.
Yeah.
Most people want free higher education.
This is okay. I'm glad. We finally got someone who is directly interacting with Dave Rubin's premise and comes up with a great argument, which is, in fact, yeah, this is bullshit.
If only he could search his soul as much as Donald Trump's little Donald.
Donald Trump's little Donald? Oh no.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Gamma02, thank you for the $5 dono. Also, is that a Sonic Adventure reference? Isn't Gamma one of the robots from the Sonic Adventure games? Or the playable ones? I don't know.
Education so that they can actually get a job and move up in life.
I don't know that it's most people, but a certain set of people
will
do.
say that they would love for the rich to be taxed at the same rate that they used to be, closer towards the 90%, rather than taxing,
tax the rich
rather than
90%.
taxing the rest of the population that can barely pay their rent.
Yeah.
And then they're watching shows like yours, and they're hearing ideology more so than factual evidence.
Yeah.
And they're saying, you know what? Yeah, the Democrats, establishment Democrats, haven't been doing much that they said that they were going to do. So let me listen to this guy and everything you give is emotion and ideology. So yeah, sometimes
Yes,
people who don't have nearly as much critical thinking as they probably should.
Dave. Dave actually got upset about that one. Dave, that actually hit a mark there. Like he sat there and got bullied by Mason for like 10 minutes straight and was very clearly very mad about it. And he's like, yeah, like I would ever get emotional. That's actually this is peak comedy, you know? This is peak comedy. Nowhere like, you know, trickle down economics might not work, but trickle down jokes, I think the jokes are trickling down. It's Donald Trump, very funny president. Total disaster, deeply evil, very funny. And it's all trickling down. The insanity, the Joker-like laughter with which we meet our reality. It is all trickling down. And honestly, watching Dave Rubin squirm here is peak comedy at this point. In the era of Trump too, this is top tier. It's all a bad joke. True.
Are going to move to the right.
Yeah.
But honestly, the base that's actually growing are the progressive base. Young voters are becoming much more
She's cooking though. Like I like her.
Progressive than they ever were.
Yeah.
Why? Because again, most people
Well,
want
I
the
agree. I
universal
agree with
healthcare.
that. That a lot of young people are very confused about what America is
they're
and what
confused
freedom
about what
is.
they want?
Yeah, they are.
Oh no.
Apparently they cut out the part where Dave was giga butthurt about the sucking Trump's comment and was milking the homophobia angle for minutes.
Didn't they also cut out like multiple parts where he was asked about Sam Seder? That's deeply funny. That is objectively also deeply funny. Also, Dave does know how to fake being outraged. You know, he does know how to fake that. There's no way he was actually insulted by the comment sucking Trump's dick. That's a common saying said to not just gay men. Saki Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciate the support, keeping the show going, bringing it up that hill. Here we go.
So you want, I mean, we could just do a few of what you just said.
Straighterade's chuckles echo through the halls. Oh God, that was a great moment.
So how much money would you like to take from anyone to get whatever policy you want? What is the number? How much money should anyone have that you want to take to get whatever it is that you want done? Please give me.
You know what? A really simple way of saying this would be like, let's throw like a progressive tax rate of like 99% on any dollar over $1 billion. You know, let's just tax billionaires out of existence. You know, a 99% progressive tax bracket for those with more than $1 billion on their wealth. Let's go. Let's make that happen. How about that? We can start there and work our way down.
It's interesting that you're using the rhetoric of taking when we're literally talking about a state, a society that functions solely through making sure that most people have their basic needs met.
So
unfortunately,
how much?
Establishment Democrats have moved so towards.
How much money are you going to take from my dropping frames? We are dropping frames. We are dropping those frames, dropping those frames, dropping those frames. Now we're coming back and we are live. Hopefully you will see me now. Ooh. We dropped frames, but we are back. Hope you didn't have a heart attack. We're back. We're back. We really back. Whoa, 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 whoa. So back, baby. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. There we go. We're back. Thank you to those of you who are strong enough, who stayed through the dark times. Thank you all very, very much. Are the streams aligned in the way that they should be? They are not aligned in the way they should be. One second. 1 second. We gotta switch the streams real quick. All right. Hey. Okay, I think we fixed it. You might need to refresh it. We back now? Good night, Dragonfly. Okay, we're back. You're vertical again? Okay, okay. All is well with the world. We're back. Is it me? Am I the bad bitch? Yep. If you have to ask, the answer is always yes. Be the bad bitch you want to see in the world. I'm sending some fagness. Hell yeah. I could use so much more. Hell yeah. I will become so gay I will blot out the sun. My rainbow will block the sky. Your crops will wither. Your women will be driven before me. I will hear their lamentations. And you shall see a spectrum of suffering unlike any you've ever experienced. All right. Muted again? I'm not muted. I should be good. You should be able to hear me. I'm having a really good first Pride Month being out. Congratulations, How to Be Epic. Good for you.
Been trying to talk and change minds in my circle lately, but between people not interested in political engagement and people believing trans identities aren't legitimate, it's been rough.
I totally feel that, Nathan, and thank you for the incredibly generous $60 dono. My God, thank you very, very much. ICE is your fucking daddy? Nah. They're just the masked thugs that wander my streets and kill my people. Not a huge fan. I encourage you not to come to Minneapolis. Alright. Leftist audio is mine? Figures. Alright. Let's resume this, because we were actually, we were cooking here. Can we just make holidays about being an alcoholic? Yeah, that's called every holiday. Like when you're an alcoholic, that's just every holiday. My God.
The corporatist side, that they have forgotten what the people actually want.
So how much of Elon?
That's where
so
we
how
agree.
much of
where
Elon
we
Musk?
disagree
All right, so let's use Elon
is your
Musk for
rhetoric
example.
around I'm going to
Yeah.
take as much money as I
Well,
can from the rich.
it is taking.
It's not
No, it
no,
is. Of
it's
course, it is.
fairness.
What do you mean? If you
It's-
don't give, if they say we're going to take it and you don't give it, they're going to put you in jail, right?
Yeah, you are describing how our tax system works. That is correct. Yes, Dave.
So it is taking. If it is so.
Yeah. Okay. So Dave is now arguing taxation is theft.
taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, you're
Yeah,
going to jail.
if it is so benevolent
Right.
to do these things, then why don't more people do it?
No, it's just part.
Mahubaka, thank you for the $50 dono. My God, you guys, thank you.
Of being a person living in a country.
Okay, so
Every
how much?
country has taxes.
So how much of Elon Musk's money would you like to take?
I love the idea that to Dave Rubin, living in a society means that no one owes anything to each other. You know, like that's effectively the kind of world Dave Rubin has put forward as being the one we exist in, where you know, like we live in a society, you owe nothing to anyone. That's why when you go to your Thanksgiving dinners, you know, your family get-togethers, you're expected to pay a $20 cover charge, and you pay by the plate for any food you eat. And you just love it. It's such a lovely family tradition where we extort one another for money. Yeah, like no, we have we when we live together, we have a different set of rules where everyone contributes and everyone pitches in and lends a hand as they are able to do. And that should extend to billionaires to the extent that they stop becoming billionaires.
Take from him to do what?
I would actually like for billionaires and the rich in general to pay the same amount that they were paying back in the 1950s.
Okay, so that's a rather.
I always get an invoice from loved ones for
I
birthday
DK
gifts.
about you, Jack, but all my family events have a 2-drink minimum.
I mean, I don't think I've ever had a drink at a family event, like a full family event. I don't think I've ever done that. That might improve some of my family events. My partner's family is lovely. My family, however, a little bit of a different story.
The radical position if you want.
In the 1950s, mostly it was Republicans that were in office.
So you want to give that money to the system and the government, which you don't seem to like very.
My family. I think we're back. We're good. We did it. We did it. We've returned. It is horizontal, no sound, but now there's sound. Cool. We did it. We're back, baby. All right. Cool. Man, this has been a struggle. This has been a struggle. I'm behind you. No, you're not. We boarded up that door. Dono Ghost can't get my bones. We vert? But wait, we're vertical now? No. No, you're not. You guys aren't vertical. Okay. I'm being gaslit by my own chat. Did you lock the ghost door? I did lock the ghost door, and we boarded it up and turned it into a wall instead of a door. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. We are so close to the end, though, and it makes me so upset. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian home, and the idea of me drinking alcohol would have been deeply offensive, or would still be deeply offensive to either of my parents. You know, that's okay, because I'm a rebel, Dottie. Oof, that is on there. There we go. I'm a rebel. The spirits were indeed appeased, Solus. Whew, that was some good whiskey, too. I binge drank at my preacher's home with him on Sundays after church. God. All right.
Very much, right? You're talking about corporate Democrats and you don't like the Republicans, but your solution seems to be, I will take more money and put it into the system to do what I want.
Wait, can Protestant Christians not drink alcohol? Depends on the kind of Protestant. Like, you know the town in Footloose where it was like sinful to dance? That's basically like one step removed from what the kind of religion my dad grew up in. And he was considered like one of the rebellious ones because he watched movies.
What I would prefer to do
what
is
most
that
people want.
what I would prefer to do is that you have a job?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, so I would like you to keep more of your money. I want everyone, again, in this room to keep more of their money. You know what happens when rich people have more of their money? They hire more people. They invest in more things.
The wealth trickles down. It's been working just fine since Ronald Reagan.
So untrue. It is crazy. And that's what I'm saying. People like you will spit out this rhetoric, and people who are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have nearly as much critical thinking.
Okay, we gotta pause there. We're out of time. We're out of time.
Yeah. My final surrounded claim is that the modern left.
Nope. That will have to wait for part 4. We did it, folks. We made it. We only had a little bit longer to go until we ended the segment. We didn't need all these technical difficulties right at the end. But here we are. 500 viewers less. 600 viewers less. But you know, we made it through. You are the strong, the brave, the few. The warriors. So folks, remember, hit that like button, leave a comment, a warrior comment, and hit the subscribe button, okay? And also, please, for the love of God, consider joining your local Dems and joining your local DSA. We need people to make your local local Democrats not shit. We need people to join their local DSAs and make your DSA effective. We need people to do it. It is necessary work. Through those organizations, you can help organize your local community. You can leverage political power on the local and the state level, maybe even the national level. And you can also find local campaigns that you can phone bank, door knock for, etc. And also build local friendships, which is pretty cool. And if you are feeling particularly isolated in some part of the country and you don't have a particularly active Democratic Party or DSA, you can consider tossing in with Progressive Victory, which will plug you in directly into door knocking campaigns, phone banking campaigns, text banking campaigns, information gathering campaigns for candidates across the country. So do consider getting involved with any of those 3 organizations. All right. And last but not least here, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. And check it out over at ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going. Let's fucking shit. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's the sexy lingerie that gives you a +5 to organizing. It's true. It's true. Let's see here. I did have a couple other things that I thought we could look at tonight to kind of keep things a bit varied. But that being said, I think I want to get some early sleep tonight. Early, relative for me. But get some early sleep, and then tomorrow I'm going to play some Mina the Hollower on stream. It's going to be a really good time. And if you haven't played Mina the Hollower, tune in. We're going to be playing a lot of it. It's very fun, very cool, and also very, very hard. I've been enjoying it. It's like a really good level of difficulty for me. So do check us out tomorrow. Hit all the buttons, folks, and see y'all next time. The sexy lingerie will get you extra something. Maybe. Maybe so. Jack, I'm glad Caroline rated you. Good content. Thank you, Affiliate. And if you're watching over on Twitch, you can also come on over to YouTube and check out. I have a lot of segments from past streams uploaded and cut together for your ease of viewing if you want to see more of my stuff while I'm offline. There's an awful lot of content we put out on the channel, so do check it out, folks. I think it's some fun stuff. This was a pretty chill stream tonight. I like it, and I can't wait to finish up the Dave Rubin saga. And folks, also worth noting, you guys did ask me to have the Mehdi Hassan versus Patrick Bet David as the 500 sub reward. We are actually getting pretty close. So maybe if we hit that tomorrow, we'll get a sneak peek of Mehdi versus Patrick Bet David, which I can guarantee you is a very good time. I'm a Quan migrant as well. Well, the Quan migrants are always welcome in the land of Riverboatania. Also, Coder Joe, thank you for subscribing with Prime.
Have some Bezos bucks.
I appreciate the Bezos bucks. Thank you so much. Ah. What is Quan? Caroline Quan, excellent content creator, friend of the show. Folks, if you haven't heard about Caroline Quan, go check her out. She's cool as fuck. Why wouldn't you? Riverboatania is wild. I agree. The wild rolling hills and valleys and lakes and rivers of Riverboatania. Home to many wonderful treasures and ruthless dangers. She's so cool. She has film class streams on Sundays where she shows a movie and talks about it. I look, as a film person, I do really enjoy those. I be lurking sometimes. All right. Gotta drop a book rec before you go. I've been really enjoying Gideon the Ninth. I haven't finished it yet, even though I started it a while back, but I've been slowly working through it, and Gideon the Ninth has been just a very fun read. So if you like necromancy and lesbians, check it out. It's good. It's good stuff. And space. All right. That being said, was there one other thing I wanted to show you guys before I left? I thought there might be, but I can't think of what it was. No, we talked about Mother 2. What's the other thing? Fuck, what was it? Oh, I've been going back and forth on whether or not to talk about the Deborah Ann Wool as like the Kratos wife in the next God of War game controversy. I wasn't sure if you guys would be interested in that or not, but because I feel like I feel like I just don't have a whole lot to say about it, insofar as, like, to me, it's just like gamer boys crying about getting exactly what they've been talking about wanting for like the last 20 years. Oh no, we have a playable MILF God of War. The horror. Why is it controversial? Because they think that they think that the developer made Deborah Ann Wool's character model look too old and unattractive as like a 40-year-old woman. And she just looks like a hot battle lady. She looks like someone who's older and hot and a battle lady. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to, I don't know how to counter the argument, because it's just like, Gooner gamer bitches have been asking for more dommy mommies for like the last 50 years, for the entirety of gaming's existence as a medium. And suddenly they get the ultimate MILF lady, and they're like, no, too ugly. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't get it. Even Domino's Pizza was getting in on that shit. Yeah, people were like, I'm taking this screenshot of a very unflattering angle and lighting, and this is how the entire game looks. Not hot enough. Unsubscribe. And like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, women sometimes look like not like they're at a photo shoot. Like, say if they're in battle and like sporting wounds. You know? Like, oh no. Oh no, a hot battle mommy. Oh no. Are people calling Siri ugly? Not Siri, Faye from the new God of War game. Isn't she like centuries old? She's literally dead. She's dead and fighting through the afterlife. Boss babes be banging, right? I don't know. I thought it was because it's not Kratos. I mean, that's also part of it. Like, they don't get the same muscly sad dad. Everyone loves muscle sad dad. She looks hot to me. Exactly. That's where I'm at. She looks like a normal woman who's dedicated her life to battle and is really fucking good at it. Getting Kate Blanchett vibes? Yeah, or like Atomic Blonde vibes, you know? And they're just like upset because they are they're like, Deborah Ann Wool though is like a really hot lady in real life, and how could you make her look not hot in the way she looks in my imagination? And it's just like, because they're not their goal is not to have literally Deborah Ann Wool, the woman, as the character in the video game. Though that would be a very interesting twist where Kratos, the God of War, just married actual real world Deborah Ann Wool. That would be funny. I don't know. Also, I love Deborah Ann Wool. She has great D&D content. Women are not objects, but try telling that to chuds. Well, yeah, of course. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Deborah Ann Wool deserves so much better. I'm going to defend the honor of Deborah Ann Wool by attacking the game she's in for not making her look banging enough. I did not get that link. You can call me Jess. No. She did great as Karen Page as well. Yeah, I like her as Karen Page. I like Karen. Apparently she was also in True Blood, but I don't know nothing about that. Left-wing US pair refused entry to UK will address Oxford Union remotely. Cool. We'll check that out. All right. She looks like a librarian, and librarians are sexy. Got like the classic sexy librarian archetype. She looks like someone you would meet at the store. Yeah, the hot lady store. Anyway, someone wanted to get sleep. I did want to get sleep, but then we started talking about hot ladies. All right. I am going to go to sleep, though. For real. Good night, everybody. Bye! Goodbye. Goodbye.
Rat is this. Normal rat's like this. That's a normal rat. 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 Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. This, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Quite the wire, 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 quite the wire. You are now a normal rat. Normal rat's like this. That's 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 a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. This, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Point the wire, 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 point the wire. You are now a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. This, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Point the wire, point the wire, point the wire, point the wire.